What is up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Buffalo Blueprint. I'm excited to have you all here for this divisional round matchup. I got a great show for you tonight. I'll be joined by Chase King at NFL King Stats. Chase is one of our analytics guys here. He does an awesome job, and he's our resident Ravens fan too. So he'll come and bring all the Baltimore side of the house and all the data. We'll bring all the Bills stuff. I'll also update you with our world famous reverse power rankings. This will be the divisional round edition. And then we'll go over the matchup between the Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens. And then immediately after this show, we're going to go right into No One to Blame, the Sunday edition of No One to Blame. It'll be for the playoff edition. So we're going to do it tonight. That way you guys have all of your betting needs covered for every game starting tomorrow. So Jesse, Kevin, and I will go over each game and give you our best bets, our player props, parlays, all that stuff, and our daily fantasy. So we'll be starting that at about 10 o'clock. So after this show. So stay tuned after this for No One to Blame. And we're going to have a good night. Let me start off with some ads real quick. I'd like to thank our show sponsor for this season, which is Mackenzie Farms and Happy Holiday Tree Farms. They supported us all season, and their support is what makes this show possible and helps pay for things like StreamYard and all the data we use. So I'd like to thank them first for sponsoring us for this season. Without them, the show wouldn't be possible. And then now a word from our network sponsors.
For the best Italian food in Western New York, Elliot Apollos, call 716-825-3675. The Lardon Construction Group.
Fubo TV, the official streaming service of Do Champions. FanDuel, the official sportsbook of Do Champions.
For all your summertime needs, beauty pools, as well as kayak pools.
CX Chronicles, your total customer solutions focused manager. W.GG, the official energy drink of Do Champions.
Hey, Sons of Erie, our artwork looks better on your walls. Hamburg Brewing, please visit our tap room on Boston State Road, Hamburg, New York. And finally,
Fat Boy Surf Club for all your surfing needs.
All right, let's fire it up and let's get started.
Come on, man. Only on Do Champion Network.
Everything you need, nothing you don't. Some may like if you just won't. Everything you need, nothing you don't. Some may like if you just won't. Buffalo Blueprint for analytics and new shit. Check pen in hand, mic in his hand. Welcome to the Buffalo Blueprint. Everything you need. Everything you need. Everything you need, nothing you don't. Some may like it, you just won't. Everything you need, nothing you don't. Some may like it, you just won't. Buffalo Blueprint for analytics and new shit. Check pen in hand, mic in his hand. Welcome to the Buffalo Blueprint. Everything you need. Everything you need.
All right, well, again, welcome in, and now let's welcome our guest, Chase King. Chase, what's up, man? How's it going?
Oh, I'm doing good. I'm gonna be singing that intro all day tomorrow.
It's catchy, isn't it, man? It's catchy.
Yeah, it is. Really
Especially a fellow analytics and data guy, you know. I love it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, well, we had you on for the Week 4 Ravens game. Obviously, that didn't go the way we had thought it did, even yourself originally.
Yeah.
It was ass kicking. So a lot has changed. So we're going to dive all into that here in a little bit. But thanks again for joining me on this edition. We're going to start off with our reverse power rankings for the divisional round. So I've been doing this every week since the start of the season. We are down to 8 teams, so I'm only ranking the 8 divisional teams if they were to play right now, including injuries, everything like that. So here they are. Let me know what you think, if I got them right, wrong, Let me hear it. So number 8, I have Houston. All 8 teams are good that are left, man. If their pass rush, their D line gets after it, with their secondary and the ball, the plays they can make on the ball, and then if Stroud can just do something, just take care of the ball, like don't be a negative, and then give it to Mixon. Like there are a lot to handle, man. Like there's game scripts where they are very very tough out. The issue is they got to go outside to Kansas City on the road, and Kansas City's been sitting there, laying in wait, essentially resting for 24 days. So is that gonna, is Kansas City going to come out ready? Is Houston going to be ready? How are they going to do in the cold? But I have Houston at 8. I think there's just too many question marks. That offensive line is, definitely a weak spot. Yeah, they haven't been able to run the ball consistently, and then now you're going against Kansas City that can really stop the run. So I think that's going to be a problem for them. And then, we saw that in their matchup a couple weeks ago. Stroud's losing his playmakers, man. He doesn't have Tank Dell. He doesn't have Diggs. And so he's got Nico, and then that's it, and it's so right. And so can those guys make plays? We saw him drop the ball. The last couple weeks they've been dropping passes, not being able to get open. It's Xavier Hutchinson, it's Woods, it's Mechie, and so I just don't know if those guys can make enough plays against a Kansas City defense that I think is going to be better than we saw them last. I think Spags is going to have them, ready to go.
For sure.
Wait, what's up with the Ravens shirt? Dude, Neffy. Chase is our resident Ravens fan, man. He's a Baltimore Ravens fan, lives in the Bayou, in Louisiana, but he's a Ravens fan. And so he's got to rock his team, man.
Yeah, can't be 100% biased with the Bills.
Right.
I try to outsider info.
So my only thing is you, all right, so I have full disclosure, I have a friend of mine who's a Ravens fan. Outside of him and you, I have not met another Ravens fan that is like can be semi-objective, can have a real conversation. Like it is rough. I went out and I asked all the content creators. I sent a bunch of messages, man. I tried to get people on here, and they just aren't having it. It's the first team that I could not find someone willing to come on the show. Like it's usually so easy for other teams. I mean, so easy. And dude, Ravens they're not having it, man. They don't give a shit.
Even as a Ravens fan, Ravens Twitter it's rough.
Dude, I've never muted and blocked so many people as I have with the Ravens. It's like you would think it'd be like Dolphins, Jets, something, No, it's Ravens fans, man. They are brutal.
I think the MVP discourse just makes it worse,
Oh, dude, a cesspool, man. That brought out the worst in everybody. Like there was no, he's really good, but it's like your guy sucks. Like it's just crazy. He's a racist. He shouldn't win MVP because he's great. It's insane, man. All right, so back to where we were because we got to keep this on schedule here. Number 7 on the power rankings, I have Washington. I think Washington's issue is going to be defensive, and I think it's going to be that defensive line. They don't generate a lot of pressure without having to blitz, and I think that leaves you vulnerable. I think you get in trouble with that once you start playing some better teams. They're going to play Detroit, who's a great offense, and they love when you blitz them. Goff loves, when you send extra guys. He's very, that team's very good against man coverage too, and so I think that's a tough matchup for Washington. They got to go to a really hostile place. And I worry, like, can they stop the run with their D line as well? And so with those question marks, I have them at 7. Their offense also gets in weird funks. For a team that converts as many first downs and scores as much as they do, they get in some weird funks in games. And you just can't do that against another high-powered offense like Detroit. So I have Washington at 7. At 6, I have the Rams. I really like the Rams. I loved them in the offseason. I was way overhyping them. I had them way high on the power rankings. Then they got decimated by injuries. Now we've seen since they're healthy, they've really started rolling, and they're a force, man. I think Philly is that team like they don't want to face as far as a matchup style. Like they got to play in the elements, which is a whole nother thing. They got to play in snow and cold. And I worry about that with Stafford and their offense. But we saw when they played the first time, man, Philly on both lines of scrimmage was really able to manhandle the Rams a little bit, and I think that's what's going to happen here. I think when the Rams can't get after you with their 4 defensive linemen that are really good, and then they struggle in protection in pass protection. So we'll see. But I
Yeah,
have
the Rams could be anywhere from third on the power rankings to 8. It just depends on what Matthew Stafford you're getting. Because he balled
that's
out
part
against
of
the
the problem
Bills,
too.
and then he
And
was
and
like
last
less than
week,
200 yards in the other games around it. So,
yep. And then last week in the wild card, he came out on fire, man. He couldn't
yep,
freaking miss. And so
yep,
yeah, if you get Matthew Stafford on fire, he's as good as any quarterback in football. The
yeah,
problem is you don't always get that. And then now we're talking he's outside in the elements, and his track record in cold weather and the rain and stuff like that is not very good. So we'll see. I really, like I said, I really like the Rams. But I think this is the one team I don't think they want to face. I think they would much rather go into Detroit and play Detroit right now,
yep.
obviously, or going to Washington. So I have the Rams at 6. At 5, I have Philly. And I like Philly, man. For a while, they were at 1 or 2 on my power rankings. And the only reason why I've slid them down some is I got to see that passing game work. Like, I got to see it work. And I know they haven't needed to lean on it, but there's going to be a game or a script where they're going to have to. And can they? Can Hurts get it going? Can he get A.J. Brown going? Can he get Devonta Smith going? We've seen it in the past. I'm not worried about Jalen Hurts in a big game, right? We saw him
Mhm.
go toe-to-toe with Mahomes in the Super Bowl and play unbelievable. And so for me with that team, it's just, he missed some time at the end of the season. Can he get that chemistry back? Can he play when they need him to and make the passes and the plays they need to? Otherwise, I really like that team. Both lines of scrimmage, man, are really good, and so that's why I have Philly at 5. I mean, I bumped them down. I had them at 3 last week, but
Yeah.
I just didn't see enough from them last week to think like that. It made me feel better about their passing game.
Yeah, but their passing game between that and then the AJ Brown drama, you don't know what you're going to get. I mean, it could really
Right.
implode at any given game for them. But they do have Saquon, so
Right, they got all the weapons, man. I mean,
yeah.
Saquon, Devonta, AJ Brown, even Dallas Goedert, man. All those guys are,
Mhm.
great. Their O line's good. It's just, yeah, I worry about them, man, like mentally. So we'll see. I got them at 5. I think they're really good. We're splitting hairs here with the top 5, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, until I can see a little more from that passing game, I'm gonna worry about them. Number 4, I have Buffalo. I had Buffalo at 5 last week, moved them up a spot. I obviously really like Buffalo. A homer take. They can beat anybody, right? They beat Kansas City already. They beat Detroit already. I think they can beat any team on this list. For me, though, it's they do need a specific game script to do that. They have to get out to a hot start. They have to have a lead, I think, and that allows them to play at their best. Can they come from behind? Absolutely. But to be able to play at their best, I think they need a lead and to get out there. And so I think if you need a specific game script, that worries me. And I think this week they're going to go against a team that they do need a specific game script. Maybe the counter to that is the team I have ahead of them at 3 is Baltimore. And I think Baltimore needs a similar game script, right? I think Baltimore's got to get out to an early lead and they have to, establish themselves early. They do not want to play from behind. The only difference is I feel like Baltimore is better suited to get out to that early lead. They're much more. I think they're a much more difficult offense for teams to prepare for, to be ready for. It's shown by teams' inabilities to slow them down on the ground. And then I think in the weather and in games like that, I think that's going to help them as well, that ground game and that offensive line. So again, we're splitting hairs here, but and we'll see after Sunday night, right? But
Yeah.
those 2 teams for me can beat anybody. I think their problem is both those teams need a certain game script to be able to beat anybody, and so that is why I have them at 3 and 4. They have the talent.
I say Buffalo is good at 4 because, I mean, in my opinion, like I feel like the ceiling of the other 3 teams, their best game is better than Buffalo's best game. Like it just feels like if Josh Allen doesn't take over, I mean, I feel like there's just more wiggle room for the other teams to exceed expectations than with the Bills.
Yeah, I think for Buffalo, it's on their defensive side for me.
Yeah.
I think their offense can score with anybody or outscore
Mhm.
anybody. I think you saw it in the Rams game though, and even partially in the Detroit game too. It's their defense. Can their defense make enough plays? The Detroit game, they were able to get some stops and make plays. The Rams game that they could not, and so that's part of it. And then it's special teams for me too in the Bills, and that's where I knock them is. They have these special teams blunders that could really cost them. You saw it in the Rams. They had a
Oh
blocked
yeah.
punt, returned for a touchdown. You saw it last week. They had a fake punt that went for first down for Denver. Now the defense stepped up and forced the punt. But that's what I'm
Mhm.
saying. I think Buffalo has more weaknesses, on the defense and in special teams, where the teams in front of them, I don't necessarily think they do. So 3 is Baltimore. We talked about them. I think Baltimore and Buffalo, you're splitting hairs. I think that's why you're seeing the betting the way it is, the lines and everything. I have Detroit at 2. I like Detroit a lot, man. I think they're phenomenal, really well coached. I just worry about the injuries, man, on defense.
Mhm.
Same thing. Like, can they get the stops on defense they need to? Now, Aaron Glenn's done a great job scheming around the injuries and getting guys to step up and play that, but we saw it against the Bills when offense is clicking. Can they just get a stop,
Oh,
man? Can they just get a stop? I don't know. Now Anzalone's back. I think that's big, and we'll see. But man,
I think
that's
that
my
week
only thing with
18,
Detroit.
the week 18 matchup with Sam Darnold, they look so good in man coverage, but I feel like it was all false hope at this point because
You can't do
Darnold,
that
he looks
against everyone,
horrible
man.
now. So
Well, and I think the Vikings offensive line is not very good with
yeah.
Christian Darrisaw out, right? And then you have Darnold who's not good against the blitz, and so that's what
Mhm.
I worry about. Like, I don't think Detroit could run that same style defense against Kansas City, against Buffalo, against Baltimore, against Philly. Like, I don't, that won't work. And so that's where I want to see, like, can they do something else and still, get enough stops? So that's
Yeah.
my worry with Detroit. Otherwise, I love what they're doing. I love their scheme on both sides of the ball. Dan Campbell's always got them ready to go. Um, so I have Detroit at 2, and then obviously I have Kansas City at 1. And people can say they're not the same, they're whatever, blah 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 blah, but they're the 1 seed for a reason. They're the back-to-back defending champs for a reason. They're also getting healthy at the right time. I think their corner Watson coming back is really big. Pacheco's going to be rested now and ready to go. Marquise Brown is ready to go now and had a couple games, and now he's got some rest. Andy's got time to scheme up whatever he wants with that offense. And then Spags as well on defense, man. I think he's going to have some stuff ready to go. And so, man, until someone knocks Kansas City off, I got to have them at 1. That's how
Yeah,
this
I
goes
agree.
for me. Until someone can prove that they can beat them in the playoffs, especially since you got to do it at their house, they'll
Mhm.
stay at 1.
Yep,
So,
I agree.
all right, let's get into our matchup. So it's Baltimore Ravens at the Buffalo Bills. It's at 6:30 p.m. If you didn't know, I don't know how you don't know by now. It's going to be on CBS. The announcers are Jim Nance on the play-by-play. Tony Romo is the color commentator, and Tracy Wolfson on the sidelines. I see you shaking your head. I know a lot of people don't love Romo and Nance. They kind of cater, it seems like Romo especially, to Josh Allen and Mahomes. I know I don't love Romo and Nance when we play the Chiefs because
Yeah.
everything is compared to Mahomes. I'm sure it'll be fine though with Lamar. I know he loves Lamar, but yes, I do understand that sentiment.
Yeah, it's just very his voice. I don't even care who he's talking about. It's just the combo of those two is just like, oh man, like he's just
Yeah,
falling in love again over and over.
yeah, yeah.
It's bad.
I just wish he got more into the X's and O's like he used to, because then
Yeah, yeah,
I
no,
could
I
put.
agree. That first
I like
season
his
is totally
excitement.
different. Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. All right. Well, the Ravens, last I checked, are favored by what was it? It was 1.5.
Yeah, 1.5. Yeah.
Um, and the over under is 51.5. We'll start off with talking about the weather. Um, it's going to be something, man. We're going to have some weather. It looks like 6 o'clock is going to be about 17 degrees, feel like single digits. There is a good chance of snow now that is newer in the forecast but I don't think it's going to be anything crazy. It's like flirting between 30 and 40% snow, and it says like a tenth of an inch. Now, for the people who live in Buffalo or are familiar with Buffalo, like that doesn't mean anything right now. Like the forecast means nothing. It could say that by the time Sunday comes, it could be like 5 inches of snow. You don't know. So we'll see, but we know it's going to be very cold. Single digits is what it's going to be. It's going to be very cold. That is kind of the first storyline is the weather and the cold. Like how is Baltimore going to handle that? How is we've seen Buffalo in very cold. They played a perfect game in one of the coldest games in Bills history against New England a couple years ago. So we know that the Bills and Josh Allen can perform in that, but we got to see how Lamar does. I think we talked about this. I think this is his coldest game in his career. Do you think that's going to play a factor here?
I don't know how much has been the cold that's affected him or his just inability to perform in the playoffs.
Right.
Because earlier I saw that they've lost 5 times since 2018, I believe, in the playoffs, which is the most by anybody. But their defense allowed the least points per game and the least yards per game out of all the teams in the playoffs since then. So it's been him.
Yep.
I mean, it's been the offense in general. It's definitely.
Well, you saw the last time Lamar came to Buffalo in the playoffs, right? It was what 10. What was the score in that game at that point when he threw the pick 6 for the touchdown? I think it was 10.
I deleted it out of my memory.
10-7, made it 17-7 or something. Yeah, it's like. Yeah, they couldn't score, and then the next drive he had the concussion and got knocked out of the game. But that was already like about to be the start of the fourth quarter. So yeah, it's can he show up? Can he play? Is it going to be riding Lamar and then, Henry, and then how's he going to be in the cold?
From the Baltimore viewpoint,
for sure.
The weather just forced them to stick to the run game.
I know I don't want to tackle Derrick Henry.
Yeah, in any temperature.
Single digit temperatures. All right. Well, let's get into the injuries then. It's looking pretty clean. Zay Flowers hasn't practiced this week. He's doubtful. You're getting a little Harbaugh coach speak, gamesmanship, saying, he doesn't have to practice to play. They're still holding out hope that he's going to play. Like, he's not playing, man. Like I would bet a lot of money he's not playing. It sounds like he has a grade 1 sprain in his knee or whatever, and that's a couple weeks. And so it sounds like it's going to be probably the championship game. If they win this game, that he might be able to come back for. I don't think there's a chance he plays this week. I think it's more gamesmanship that they're not ruling him out, and so they have to game plan for him. But who knows? That would obviously be huge if he can play, but I just don't think even if he does play, he would be very effective for his style of play. The other one on the Ravens is Deontay Hardy, but he's questionable. It sounds like he's going to play. He's been on IR, so we know him well. He played on the Bills last year, kick returner, punt returner. Bills side, it's really just Ray Davis, questionable, coming off the concussion from last week. He did practice this week. He sounded optimistic about playing, so we'll see. The other one was Alec Anderson. He was limited Wednesday and Thursday, full on Friday. He has no game designation. So Bills, this is the healthiest the Bills have been going into a divisional game. That is definitely a talking point from the Bills side. We have not seen a Bills roster this healthy in the Josh Allen era this far into the season. So that is definitely a big one to have everybody ready to go. We saw that even week 4, the Bills were missing a lot of pieces. They were missing both their starting linebackers. They were missing their nickel corner. Their safety went out like in the early in that game. And so, I think people on the Bills side at least are excited to see a healthy Bills roster go against this Baltimore squad. Do you have anything on the health front?
Yeah, I mean, Zay Flowers, you hear the name, is like Lamar's number 1, number 2 target, if you want to say Mark Andrews in that. But if you look back at the week 4 game, he only had 2 targets the entire game. And I mean, that was
they didn't need to throw
a blowout, I mean,
yeah.
So how much is it really going to affect them? Especially Mark Andrews is a different player than what he was at the beginning of the season. We know he came on at the end of the season, led the league in touchdowns from tight ends, So, I mean, how much is it really going to play a factor? I mean, they looked fine last week versus Pittsburgh. I mean, it's two different teams, I know, but
I think it's more of a spacing,
yeah,
and a threat to be able to take it at any point, right? You're not necessarily worried about Mark Andrews like burning your squad, right? But I
yeah,
think it's
yeah.
how you have to line up on defense. Can you leave him out on an island? You need to shade help over there. So I think it's
Mhm.
more like what it allows the Bills defense to do schematically if he's not in, and you're only worried about like Bateman or whatever. It's a different speed there. You're not having to shade, your safety over. And so I think that's where it's big for Buffalo. And maybe not necessarily so much of a negative for Baltimore, but I mean,
Yep.
you always like to have extra pieces there, especially like we talked about with the game script. If they're playing behind, they need to throw. Like they want, him out there, right? Like
For sure.
Nelson Aguilar, right? Like with Wallace and
Yeah, I mean, no
Bateman,
one.
like
Yeah,
not super reliable hands on any of
correct.
those guys. So
No, it's going to be the Mark
um,
Andrew and Isaiah Likely show. I mean, Justice
right.
Hill, you know what I mean?
Justice Hill, he
Yeah.
killed us that game. And again, linebackers, man, being healthy is big.
Hmm.
That's where a lot of that
Be a
production
big
was
difference.
coming from. Yep,
Yeah.
from tight ends and from running backs. So, all right, let's get into some trench warfare here. I like to talk about both sides of the trenches. So I'll give you some numbers first, and then we'll dive into the specific people and things like that. So Baltimore defense this year is second with 54 sacks, but they're 29th in pass rush win rate, and they're 22nd in run stop win rate. Like that is crazy to me. Like second in sacks, but they don't
Don't do
beat
anything
people
else.
one off the line. So that's a lot of stunts. That's a lot of simulated pressures where you're getting
Was
wins,
they were
blitzes.
seventh in the blitz as well. They're
Yep,
only blitz
blitzes.
20% of the time, so they're just getting to the quarterback. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's
They
just
like to
it's
do a lot
very
of those
odd
simulated
situation.
pressures, man. It's
Yeah.
Mike McDonald, same kind of thing, right? Like they show a lot of stuff and they'll drop guys and they'll send different guys. So that I think that allows them to have some wins. We saw that week 4. There was a lot of miscommunication on the Bills offensive line. They were still kind of figuring things out and they were struggling with some stunts and,
Hmm.
bringing your outside guys on the inside and vice versa. And so I'm interested to see this game. The Bills have been doing a lot better with stunts, blitz pickup, recognition, all that stuff. And so that's going to be big because Josh was under some heat in that first game. And if the Bills can give him some time, we saw it last week against Denver, against the number 1 sack team.
Yeah.
The Josh had plenty of time. So
Yeah,
that's going to be a big
he
one.
was only pressured 5 times last week against Denver.
Yep.
And
And one
week
of them
4
was
he's
his
pressured.
fault.
Yeah, exactly. And in week
Yeah.
4 he was pressured 15 times against
Yep.
the Ravens. So 2 totally different, matchups as far as what the offensive line did for him.
Yep.
So
Exactly.
we'll
Yeah,
see.
that's
That's
great.
going to be a huge factor for sure.
For sure. So for Baltimore D, the leading guys are their edges. So Adefe Owe, he's 17th in pass rush win rate out of defensive ends, and then Kyle Van Noy, the never aging Kyle Van
Yeah.
Noy, 18th in pass rush win rate. So those guys are leading the charge on the outside. They do have some guys on the interior, but that's more like space eating guys like that. I don't think any of them are specifically known for like interior pass rush, like Michael Pierce and stuff like that.
Matabike last year, but I mean he's fallen off
Metabike.
from last year to this year. I mean he's still good, but not what he did last year.
Yeah, so here's the D line. You got Owe on the outside. Jones, loved him coming out of college, man. Metabike, and then Van Noy, and then linebackers Smith and Harrison. So, it's going to be a big one, man. How those guys move around, simulated pressures coming up to the line of scrimmage, who's dropping, who's coming. They like to drop Owe and Van Noy into coverage.
Mm-hmm.
You saw it. Was it last week where they dropped Pierce back into coverage and he had the interception? Or was that 2 weeks ago? So they do.
Yeah.
So they'll drop their 300 plus pound defensive nose tackle right into coverage. So they'll do some simulated pressure stuff like that. So definitely something to watch. On the flip side, the Bills offensive line. Let me throw up the graphic. Bills offensive line is been very good. They're the least sack team in football with 14 sacks through the regular season. They gave up 2 last week. Again, one of those was on Josh. The other one was on the interior. I think it was on Edwards. They're 4th in pass block win rate and 17th in run block win rate. Deion Dawkins is 8th in pass block win rate. That's Bills left tackle. Spencer Brown is 15th in pass block win rate. He's the right tackle. And then Connor McGovern is 14th in pass block win rate now, and then that's their center. So very good unit. Cromer's got these guys dialed in. They've been communicating a lot better, and they really don't lose a lot of one-on-ones. Like, that's the thing with them. If they can ID who the rusher is, they're very good at staying in front of them and giving Josh time. It's when you get these looks where they're not sure who's coming, there's a little miscommunication, and that's when guys get free. So definitely something to watch is the cat and mouse in this game between the D-line and the offensive line.
I mean, as someone that watches the Bills more than I do, I mean, is it Josh Allen's not making these heroic throws like he used to as frequently, huh? Where he's falling out of bounds, throwing it 40 yards down the field. I feel like he doesn't scramble as much as he doesn't make it. He doesn't just instantly get out the pocket like he used to. Is that true? Or am I seeing that correctly? Or
Yeah, I think he's definitely way more comfortable. I think he's seeing the field a lot better, so he doesn't even get to that far into a lot of plays because
Gotcha.
him and Brady are really been on the same page. They've been identifying the blitzes so well this year, and they know the hot routes. Josh knows where it's coming from. He knows where to go, and so I think that's part of it. Is previous years he wasn't seeing it so well, or him and the wide receiver were having a miscommunication or something, and so he would just have to freelance and run around. So he doesn't have to do that as much. The ball comes out a lot faster. And then on the plays where he holds on to it a little longer, or it's just not there, it's covered up or something, he has been scrambling, but a lot of it has been scrambling to look to throw under control, though. Like you saw that pass to Ty Johnson where he scrambled to his right, but he didn't go wide like he used to. He used to try to push the edge fast, and then if he could throw it, great. If not, he'd tuck and run it. Well, he only went outside the pocket a couple yards, and then he stopped, reset his feet, looked downfield, bought more time, and throw. Part of that is the O-line, though, is playing really good. Spencer Brown on his right side, super athletic, has been getting out there and providing extra blocks for him. And, yeah, he wants to be under control and throw the ball this year for sure. He has a really good idea of where guys are going to be. And so he hasn't needed to do the heroic stuff. He still does it. It's just usually more controlled. Like the Ty Johnson play is a perfect example. He's had a couple sideline ones this year where he's fired it while going out of bounds or things like that. In Detroit, he had a couple.
Yeah, that's
but
the one that comes to mind.
yeah, he hasn't needed to do it as much, and I think that's been great for this offense. So Alec Anderson, a dog. Yeah, that's the Bills. Outside of Detroit and Baltimore, they run the most sixth O-lineman. It's Alec Anderson, friend of the show, number 70. He comes in a lot, man, a lot. 15, 20 snaps at least a game. And so he's a big piece of what they want to do, and he's really good in pass pro, really athletic, and that's part of it too. So they'll bring him in and they'll run passes, and he's an extra guy that can do pass pro and gives Josh some extra time. So great question, though. All right, so getting to Baltimore's offense, they're the fourth least sacked team with 24. A lot of that, again, is two mobile quarterbacks, right? Lamar and Josh, they cover up a lot of the mistakes for their offensive linemen, but both O-lines are very, very good. So get the Ravens O-line, Roger Rosengarten, who's the right tackle. He's second in run block win rate. Patrick McCarry, who's the left guard, but can play literally everywhere. The dude's unreal. 18th in pass block win rate. And then Ronnie Stanley, always up here. He's 12th in pass block win rate. So they're really good. Tyler Linderbaum's fantastic. He's one of the best centers in football. Flele is a young guy, but big, mauler. It's a really good unit, man. What have you seen from them this year?
What was Rosengarten? What was he in run block win rate? Fourth?
Second in run block win rate.
He's the complete opposite in passing situations.
Okay.
Because he has
one trick pony.
Yeah, fourth highest pressure rate allowed. I think it's like 12% or something like that. So it's like him and Von Miller. Like, what are they going to do for Von Miller?
Right, because that's where Von's going to line up.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
exactly.
that's going to Von's going to look good in that situation, but on the opposite side, I wonder what he's going to look like in read options between Derrick Henry and if they're reading him at times.
And Von's been probably the outside of Greg Rousseau, who's one of the best run stopping DNs in football. Von's been really good in in stopping the run. And so I'm interested to see that too. I think Vaughn does a really good job in that. And so I'm interested to see how they play it though, because you saw the Steelers last week play where everything was crashing to Henry, right? And Lamar was like, okay, and he would just pull it back and run it, right? And like, I don't think you can play that. Like, I think, the ends have to contain Lamar, and then you just have to plug up the middle, man, with, and hope that your tackles and, your linebackers can fill those holes, man. I don't think your solution is to let Lamar just run to the outside. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm just curious. I'll let
Here
you
you go.
I'll let you talk more about the defense first, the defensive line, and I'll get into my thoughts.
Here's a question from student. Question for Chase. No shot the ghost of Art Modell moves the team before Sunday, right?
Hey, I mean, it's supposed to snow in Louisiana 5 inches next week, so anything's possible.
Anything is possible. That's great. Oh man. All right, so back to the Bills defensive line. They're 18th with 39 sacks, but they get a lot of pressure, and that's something that's been a hot debate. Like, people want to see the Bills finish more of these plays, but they do generate a lot of pressure. They're sixth in pass rush win rate. They're fifth in run stop win rate. So they're winning on the D line. A lot of it is the second level and things like that. But the D line is winning. They've been getting better and better too. Mainly Ed Oliver and Daquan Jones. Both those guys have been climbing the rankings the last 4 or 5 weeks, which is really good for Bills fans. Ed Oliver is 9th in defensive tackle run stop win rate, and he's 11th in defensive tackle pass rush win rate. So Ed Oliver's really been turning it on. He's got to play big this week. If he doesn't, I don't think the Bills have a chance at slowing down Henry. Daquan Jones is the other guy that has to play big this week. He's 13th in defensive tackle pass rush win rate. We've seen the snap shares go up too for the Bills. So if you look on here, both Greg Rousseau, number 50, and Ed Oliver, number 91, both their snaps have gone up last week specifically. In the previous weeks too, they had slightly gone up, but they really went up last week. Both were up in an 80% range. And normally the Bills do a heavy rotation and try to keep their guys' snap shares down, usually about 60%. So both those guys saw a lot more, and I imagine it's going to be the same this week. If those guys aren't playing well, Jones and Oliver and Rousseau, and you said it too with Vaughn and whoever else is on that other side. It could be Smoot, who's very good in run defense. Could be AJ. I worry about that side, that left side. Like with AJ, he's had some trouble, man, with some of the read option looks. I wonder how much they're going to try to control his snaps and maybe play Smoot out there or Vaughn out there more than they probably would normally. So that is definitely something to watch on the Bills side of the house. And then I included the linebackers for the Bills here in a base look. I saw you put out a great tweet about that. The Bills don't run base, man. They barely ever do. They've only done it a handful of times this year. Like, they're 98%, nickel team. You're going to probably see it. You're probably going to see it situationally with Milano Bernard and then Dorian Williams. I think they're gonna bring it out, and it's good to have all three of those guys healthy. And we'll see. I don't know if that means taking Taron Johnson off the field. Then they're a nickel corner. He's really good in run defense, and they really like him. Is it taking a lineman off? Is it taking a safety off? I'm not sure. With Zay not in there, that's part of one of the things influencing it. It probably depends on Baltimore's looks that they give with their personnel groupings when they go heavy and go, 12 personnel or 13 personnel or 22 personnel with, when they bring in the fullback, Ricard. So that's going to be something interesting to watch too, is the Bills personnel groupings. And you brought up a great point with that. Like, are they going to stick to nickel? Because I think like 80% of the snaps in week 4, they were running light boxes. So they were running 5 men or less.
90%.
It was 90%. They ran 5 men in the box or less against this Ravens team. Now, I talked about this in the post game with Student about this, is just because you have more people in the box doesn't mean you're going to be better at stopping the run. That's not what that means. The data doesn't show that. It's all about gap assignment and guys making plays and shedding blocks and things like that. So, this matchup, we have better guys on the Bills side to do that. Milano, Bernard, Taron Johnson, Taylor Rapp. None of those guys played, and those are all some of the Bills' best run defenders. So
Yeah.
I'm interested to see if they just say, hey, we're gonna do what we do, but we just have better personnel this time, and then selectively pick and choose, or are they gonna say like, F that. Like we're gonna put out, Dorian Williams as well, kind of match up bodies a little better. Are we gonna see 5 linemen, something like that? I don't know. It could be just situationally, but that's all the Bills have heard. Sean McDermott got asked it in his press conference today. I think it was today or yesterday. They asked him like, "Hey, people are all saying that the Bills are light. They're a small team. They're small in the defensive line. Like, are they going to be able to stop the run? And he you could see like that bothered him, man. And he just said, we'll see. Like I think that message is in that locker room, man. They've been talking about it. Ed Oliver's talked about it. Rasul Douglas talked about it after last week's game. Like they know the narrative is out that they can't stop the run. So I am really interested to see what they try to do. Like, are they going to bring different packages? Are they going to bring heavier guys? Are they going to run more base? Or are they just going to say like, dude, just bring your lunch pail today, man. Like, just get ready to have a dogfight in the trenches, and we'll see if we can win.
Yeah. I mean, two quick points that I want to mention, and then we can keep going. But you're talking about Taron Johnson. He had like 39% of his snaps are in the box.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
that's
does
insane.
Buffalo think they're going to put him in the box and he's going to tackle Derrick Henry? I mean,
yeah.
What's the other option? I mean, if they're running,
he has before. When he was with the Titans, we would line up the same way. So I don't know, man. He's so good against the run. I don't know if the answer is taking him off the field.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I'm just interested to see what they do.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know who they want to take off the field to bring in a Dorian Williams or an extra lineman or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like it's just you're making sacrifices elsewhere. And then there's also schematic things you could do. It's shading linemen over different gaps or heads up on offensive linemen. There's different run blitzes you can do. The Bills are a penetrating style defense, man. They want to bring the fight to you. They want to shoot gaps. They want to play in the backfield. And that's how you stop Derrick Henry too, is you got to get in the backfield. But we saw week 4, the Ravens said, all right, we know what you want to do. And so they started running counters to that. And that's where they ran that first play against Buffalo. They ran that wham play. And that's what Derrick Henry had for that long run. They said, okay, we'll let you penetrate, pulled a guy and sealed off the penetrating Bills player. And the hole was wide open, man. And so I'm interested to see if the Bills are prepared. And, can Babbage get them prepared? Because the Ravens were prepared. The Ravens knew what the Bills were going to do on defense, and they used it against them. So are the Bills going to have something different this time? Are they going to be prepared for a lot of those counters and wham plays? And it's tough, man. The Ravens are good, man. Their O-line is so good.
And I'm curious, last thing about the trenches that I got. In week 4, I was rewatching the game. It was the Bills they sent their 4 D linemen, and that was it. It was almost like they were trying to create a pocket around Lamar to keep him from escaping. But the thing is with Lamar, I mean, he can still. I mean, obviously, he can pass the ball.
He'll just dance around back there.
And I mean, he was, I think, 12 for 13, 2 touchdowns. That was on wide open targets with 3 plus yards of separation. He had 0 passes into a tight window in that game. They only blitzed 3 times. Like, I mean,
so a lot of the problem was they just didn't have the guys to run what they want to run. I think you'll see what they ran a little bit with Bo Nix, and then they run it a lot with Patrick Mahomes. Is they'll actually run 3 linemen, and so they'll run Ed Oliver, Von Miller, and I think it's like Greg Rousseau, and then the 4th lineman is a linebacker. So it's either Milano or Bernard, and those guys they'll line up like they're gonna blitz or whatever, right? But they just they drop a yard or 2 back, and they're basically just a shadow, right? They're just watching Lamar, and the second Lamar moves one way or the other, they blitz. And then the other guy who's ever not doing that time is going to watch the running back, or if it's a tight end that stays in the block, and whatever they do, if they stay in the block, they're blitzing. If they're going out for a route, then they go out for a route. So We saw that be really effective. Both those guys are super athletic, Milano and Bernard. And so I think you're going to see that a lot more. Again, neither of those guys played week 4. That's your green dot middle linebacker, and then your all-pro outside linebacker. Neither of those guys play. That's a lot of why Justice Hill had a lot of open grass. A lot of open grass. Because the communication wasn't there. I mean, you miss your nickel, your middle linebacker, and your outside linebacker, and then your most experienced safety.
Mm-hmm.
Like your back end is going to be messed up, right? The communication's not going to be there. Guys aren't going to know what's going on. So I think you're going to see some different stuff this game, and that's a great call out with Lamar, because I don't think they're just going to rush 4. I think they're going to blitz, and I think they're going to run some of these packages where they match what Baltimore's doing, and they'll run like 3 linemen in passing situations with the 2 linebackers, and one of them's a spy, and the other one's gonna match whatever the running back or tight end's doing.
Yeah.
So. All right, we'll get into mismatch meter a little bit. I like to go over 3rd downs, 4th downs, and red zone. Although obviously those are critical situations in games. So Baltimore defense is 18th in 3rd down. They are 3rd in 4th down, and they're 12th in the red zone. So middle of the pack for 3rd down, really good at 4th down, and just top 3rd for 4th or red zone defense. Bills offense is 7th in 3rd down, 2nd in 4th down, and 2nd in red zone. So really good unit, especially on 4th down and red zone. A lot of that obviously is Josh using his legs and converting. It's going to be a really big matchup in this game. We know points are going to come at a premium. Red zone's going to be huge. Bills were 1 for 4 last week in the red zone. They scored all their touchdowns outside of the red zone, and so that's big this week. Can they get back to scoring touchdowns in the red zone? This is not a game where you want to kick field goals. You have to convert in the red zone. Baltimore's offense is 3rd in 3rd down. They are 20th in 4th down, and they are 1st in red zone offense. So fantastic in 3rd down and 1st down, or in red zone. I think that's going to be another big one in this game is Baltimore. Can they get into 3rd and shorts? A lot of why they're so good on 3rd down is because they're not in 3rd and longs, right? They don't have a lot of 3rd and 7 pluses. A lot of it is 3rd and shorts. And so that's the big advantage. So can the Bills get some negative plays? Can they force them back some? I think that would be a big key for this game. And then red zone. They're 1st in red zone, right? So we have the number 1 and number 2 red zone offenses in this game. So who can get the other team to make mistakes, force field goals? Bills defense is the opposite of the Ravens offense. They're 29th in 3rd down, and a lot of that is because they don't get teams in 3rd and short. They're 3rd and longs. They haven't played great. They haven't had great scheme. They haven't been able to get off the field, and so that's big for this. We saw it was a lot better last week. They were a lot better on 3rd down, but that's a rookie quarterback, and we'll see. We'll see what Lamar and the Ravens can cook up. But 3rd downs can be huge, man. The Bills are 13th on 4th down. They're really good on short yardage on 4th down. Again, those middle yards, for some reason, I don't know, they're just not great on. They're 16th in red zone, so middle of the pack in the red zone. So again, like, which defense can slow down the other offense enough in the red zone could be key in this game.
Yep.
Turnover differential. The Bills are the number 1 team in turnover differential at plus 24. They have 32 takeaways and 8 giveaways. The Ravens are 10th at plus 4. 17 takeaways, but only 11 giveaways. They've done a really good job limiting the giveaways. They haven't fumbled the ball a ton. Lamar had some fumbles, but nothing crazy. And then obviously Lamar's really limited his interceptions this year. So turnovers are huge, man. They've been really big for the Bills in field position, and it's going to be big this game. Who can play a clean game, no turnovers, I think could go a long way here.
No, I agree. I mean, neither team turns it over much, so I mean, it could easily flip this game on its head early because neither one of them, I feel, want to play from behind. So,
yep,
you get a start like you did in week 4. It wasn't turnovers, but it was the holding penalties. And
yeah.
Buffalo's behind 2 touchdowns, and it's 21-3 at half, and I mean the game's over at that point.
I'm really interested to see how aggressive both these coaches are. More so, probably Harbaugh. I know McDermott's going to be really aggressive in this game. You saw it week 4. He tried to be really aggressive, and he really wanted the Bills to have the ball and to go down and score. And then he went for it on a 4th down, and then he didn't go for it on another one, and it didn't go for another one later. Like, he was kind of like selectively aggressive, and I think he learned a lot from that. So I'm excited to see how aggressive these guys are, because like you said, points are a premium, man. Possessions are a premium, and you don't want to give the ball to these offenses, man. A punt is a turnover. A punt is a turnover. So all right, let's get into a couple quick player props. This will be a little tease for No One to Blame after the show. Again, No One to Blame is airing right after the show. You don't have to leave the studio. We're just going to switch the graphics and fire up No One to Blame. Jesse and Kevin are going to jump in here with me right after this show, and we're going to go right into No One to Blame. So, all right, Chase, give me your quick player props for this game.
Okay. My favorite one is Lamar over 54.5 rushing yards. We saw what he did last week against the Steelers. I mean, he topped it. I think he had 50 plus in the first half. I mean, it's the playoffs. They're not holding back anymore. It's almost like week 1 whenever they were playing the Chiefs.
A lot of design runs.
They're going all in on him running the ball, and which is totally fine with me. So over 54.5 seems like a given, especially in this weather.
I think that's a great call out.
And on the same token, I mean, Lamar under 221.5 passing yards. I just don't see any scenario he's passing this much. I mean, unless they just get down, but I mean, by a lot, which I don't foresee. But that's my 2 player props.
No, I love that one. I don't think either quarterback is going to be going off with a ton of passing yards. I think the game's gone the wrong way, whichever team is doing that. So great one. I'll do Curtis Samuel for me. He stepped up the last 2 weeks. He's got a reception long of only 9.5. I like him going over that in this game. They like to get him the ball quick. They like to get him stuff behind the line of scrimmage. Let him do some of those tunnel screens, make some guys miss. But then you saw last week they started giving it to some stuff down the field. He's great against man coverage. We know Baltimore likes to run man coverage. They like to blitz. And so I think Josh is getting more comfortable with Curtis Samuel, and he's one of their man beaters. It's really Curtis Samuel, Kincaid, and then Cooper. Those are their 3 guys that are really, really good against man coverage. Shakir's good against whatever, but he's better against zone. So I like Curtis Samuel to go over a 9.5 long reception. And then we're going to stay in the same realm. Keon Coleman over a 16.5 yard long reception. He's done that a lot this year. I think there's going to be opportunities where Josh is going to give him 50-50 chances one-on-one, especially on some of the cover 0 looks the Ravens try to bring. If he's out there one-on-one, Josh is going to give him chances. And so I like that. And then he's gotten really good against the scramble drill. And so I like his chances to go over a 16.5 long reception. What about anytime touchdowns?
Can I add to that Keon Coleman thing real quick?
Jump right in, man.
I mean, like, if he gets matched up with Brandon Stevens, I mean, it may as well be me out there covering him because he is god-awful. Keon's their go-to with the go routes. I think he has the most targets, and he had 19 this season, and nobody else on the team has more than 10. So, I mean, I feel like that bet is almost a given if you can get him lined up on Brandon Stevens, which is possible. I mean, you only need one shot, and I mean, he's
that's going to be interesting. Is where are they going to use Marlon Humphrey in this game? Who are they going to match up against Cooper? Who are they going to match up against Shakir? Who's going to match up against Kincaid? I'm really interested in that cat and mouse, man. I think the Bills have some advantages that they didn't have earlier in the year with Cooper out there and everyone being healthy. And then again, the running backs out of the backfield, man, I think is going to be something in this game. We didn't see it as much as I thought last week, but it's always there, man. I think they want to get these Ravens having to move more horizontally this game and get them more spread out. So we shall see. Anytime touchdowns.
I mean, Derrick Henry is a given. I mean, you could easily go there, but I mean, if you want to go a little farther, I think Justice Hill. I mean, the Bills. I mean, they are healthier, but they gave up the most. I mean, it's like second most completions, most touchdowns to backfield targets. So I mean, it's just kind of giving it away there. Say Derrick Henry and Justice Hill. Derrick Henry is like minus 210 or something like that. So
Yeah. I went Mark Andrews plus
Mhm.
165. He scored in 6 of 7 games. And so I think he's probably due. Man, they just
Yep.
scheme him open so well in the red zone. It's
Yep.
ridiculous. He's really hard to cover. Now, last time they played in Buffalo, Lamar locked in on Andrews in the red zone, and that's where Taron Johnson picked him off. And
Mhm.
so I'm interested to see if they go back to that and what the Bills try to do to cover Andrews in the red zone because they know that's the guy. I also like Bateman plus 175. He scored a touchdown in 4 or 5 games. Zay Flowers, he's going to be the guy. He's sneaky, man. Like he is always in the top 2 or 3 in the NFL in separation. Really good route runner, man, and he just gets open. So I
Yep.
like him here. Maybe, hopefully, for the Bills' sake, getting a cheap one that doesn't matter. But 175, I'll take those odds. And then the other one I went with was Josh Allen, man. Anytime he's positive money, it's so hard to not take him. He's plus 105 in these big games. He's going to get carries down there,
Mhm.
and it's hard to keep him out of the end zone.
Yep. I agree.
All right, give me the Ravens blueprint to a victory. You can go offense or defense, both. What do you think?
Two main things. First is very anecdotal. Who's going to get the second half kickoff? Because last week, the 6 games, the teams that got the second half kickoff were 5-1 last week. The only team that lost was the Monday night game.
I like
That was
that
it.
actually.
Everybody,
That's a
it
good
was very
one.
random, but we're going to keep an eye on that for sure and see if that sticks.
Yeah, and,
But
and what does the team do who wins the coin toss? Because we talked about
yeah,
like scoring first, getting out to an early lead. Well, whoever wins the coin toss, man, are they gonna have the balls to try to do that? Or are they
yeah.
gonna play the double dip opportunity and try to
Mm-hmm.
defer and receive the kickoff in the second half? So
Yeah,
that's
it's
a
gonna
good
be
one. I
interesting
like
for
that
sure.
for
And the
sure.
other main thing for me is you spoke on it earlier, but it's the third. Can Buffalo get Baltimore into 3rd and longs? If they can't, I think it's over. I mean, there's no way. I mean, but it's going to be hard to do. But I feel like that's their main way for Buffalo to win or Baltimore to lose, whichever way you want to look at it. But I mean, that 1st and 2nd down, how well are they going to stop Lamar and Derrick Henry from running the ball?
Totally,
Just giving
especially
very
first
general
down, man.
out. Yeah, yeah.
First down, they were just obliterating the Steelers. Like it was
Mm-hmm.
unreal, man. They could not do
Yep.
anything to stop them. All right, so the blueprint to a Bills victory for me is first off on offense, no turnovers, man. You cannot turn the ball over like you did last time and give the Ravens extra possessions. And then the other one is motion, bunch, condense, and attack man coverage, man. Like that's how you get after man coverage. Is they've been doing a really good job of that the last few weeks. They did a really good job against Denver, and I think they got to do that against the Ravens, cause some miscommunication, and then take advantage of that. On defense, like you said, man, can you limit the run? Can you limit the explosive runs? That's the other one. Like, can you just limit it to 4 or 5 yards at a time, not allow the big runs like we saw their first matchup? 86-yard run for a touchdown is a backbreaker, man. You just can't allow that to happen. You
Yeah.
have to make them grind it out. Baltimore will make mistakes, man. They do take a lot of penalties. They've been better at it lately, but they're top 2 in the NFL in penalties. And so you want to make them grind it out and have to execute the whole drive. Can they? 1,000%, man. But you can't give them anything easy. Forced turnovers, I think that is huge. If you can get a turnover, is massive. Like I said, stealing possessions, but really even more so than that for me is negative plays. Can you get in the backfield and get a couple loss for a run? Can you just stuff a run and get no gain? That's almost as good as a negative play against this Baltimore run game. So those are the big keys for me. And the final one is, can you hold them to field goals, not touchdowns? I think that's huge. If you can keep them out of the end zone in the red zone, it's massive, man. You saw that when they lost to the Steelers. They could not freaking score. It was all field goals, and that was the big difference. So big, tall order, tough task, but I think those are the keys to a Bills victory. All right, score prediction. What do you got?
Baltimore 24, Buffalo 20. I kind of go back and forth between these offenses probably will score the ball. I mean, I know it's the postseason, but I think they will score the ball. But on the other hand, the time of possession. I mean, this game may be over in 2 hours. The way that they're just gonna run the clock, I feel
Right,
like.
like over under on each team getting more than 7 possessions. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like it could be real limited. So yeah, score prediction for me. I tussled around with going lower scoring game, but I do think, man, these offenses are going to be too much. I think they're going to be too much. I have it Ravens 31, Bills 30. I could easily see it going the other way. But the Bills, they got to prove it to me on defense, man. The defense has to prove it to me that they can step up and stop them. And this could even be a late Justin Tucker field goal, at the end. But knowing our luck, it would go in. So, yeah man, I worry about it, but I think it's going to be close, and I think it's going to be whoever makes the least amount of mistakes will win this game. So, all right. Well,
whichever quarterback loses with the social media discourse.
Right, for sure. All right. Well, Chase, thank you so much for joining me again, everybody. We have a special edition of No One to Blame coming up right now. So we will fire that up here, switch over. You guys can just sit tight, and we will fire up No One to Blame in 1 second. So, Chase, thanks again, and not too much luck. Go Bills.
Come on, man. Only on Do Champion Network.
You killed my outro. That was so rude of you.
Come on, man. Only on Do Champion Network.
Everything you need, nothing you don't. Some may like it, few just won't. Everything you need, nothing you don't. Some may like it, few just won't. Buffalo blueprint for analytics and new shit. Check that in hand, mic in his hand. Welcome to the Buffalo blueprint. Everything you need. Everything you need. Everything you need, nothing you don't. Some may like it, few just won't. Everything you need, nothing you don't. Some may like it, few just won't. Buffalo blueprint for analytics and new shit. Check pen in hand, mic in his hand. Welcome to the Buffalo blueprint. Everything you need. Everything you need.
All right, let's get started. Kevin's kind of off the screen a little bit. Let's fix that up.
Yep, give me a minute here.
Fire up the intro, bro.
Fire this baby up.
For the best Italian food in Western New York, Elliot Apollos, call 716-825-3675. The Lardon Construction Group.
Fubo TV, the official streaming service of Do Champions. FanDuel, the official sportsbook of Do Champions.
For all your summertime needs, beauty pools, as well as kayak pools.
CX Chronicles, your total customer solutions focused manager. W.GG, the official energy drink of Do Champions.
Hey, Sons of Erie, our artwork looks better on your walls. Hamburg Brewing, please visit our tap room on Boston State Road, Hamburg, New York. And finally,
Fat Boy Surf Club for all your surfing needs.
No One to Blame is sponsored by Altered Grounds Landscaping, the area's top professional landscape company. They're family-owned and operated business serving St. Louis and the Metro East for 20-plus years. Their mission is to make your home or business stand out from the rest. They offer free consultations year-round. Get $300 off your project of $3,000 or more with code AGNOTB. That's code AGNOTB. They're booking pools for the upcoming summer season. So if you're having any thoughts about getting a pool for this upcoming summer, stay ahead of the game and contact them now for any of your pool project needs.
There's no one to blame, there really is no one to blame. But I swear to God, it's my fucking fault. It's a better sports podcast. It's my fucking fault, but there's no one to blame. Neffy Kevin do. Neffy Kevin do.
Do it.
Kevin.
Don't listen to what I say or whatever kind of peer pressure I'm telling you.
Do it.
Oh, fucking do it again.
Do champion sucks. No one to blame. No one
I know there's really nobody to blame for this but myself. Well, I don't know, maybe the Buffalo Bills, the Boston Red Sox, or Mr. T, or the Jets.
Wait a minute, Mr. T, are you telling me that you bet on the fight in Rocky 3 and that you bet against Rocky?
Hindsight is 20/20, my friend.
Let's go. Welcome in. No one to blame with very small Kevin.
Tiny Kevin in the corner.
Kevin is fix his layout there. Welcome in. No one to blame. Great show by Jake and Chase. There he is. Great show. Buffalo Blueprint, Jake. Tons of good information. Bills Mafia. If you didn't catch that one, make sure you go rewatch it. Boys, divisional round. How we feeling? 4-game preview coming up ahead for everyone. Jake, I know you're juiced up. You just got off your Buffalo Blueprint. Once again, awesome show. Make sure y'all check it out every week. How we feeling, guys?
Thank you. I'd like to know how Kevin is feeling since when was the last time you were in the divisional round?
Oh, divisional round?
Playoffs.
Shit.
Where is it?
I ain't hitting it.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
Yo, we gotta.
I'm sorry.
Put Kevin's face on that, maybe.
Hey,
I'm sorry, Kevin. That was bad. I should know better, man.
How soon do the Bills fans forget the
right? Totally.
The BC before Josh Allen. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That's where I'm.
All
at.
we know is we act like this is how it's been our whole entire life.
Right.
I absolutely love it. Jake, I was digging your guys' prop bets at the end of the Buffalo Blueprint there. So the way we're going to set up our show today is we're going to preview all 4 games. Each guy's got a graphic we're going to pull up. We're going to go through all of our bets, give you guys the analysis for everything that we're betting this weekend. No one to blame is first and foremost a gambling show. Guys, I'm juiced up, but I'm kind of sad. It's coming to an end, dude.
Yeah. This is the best weekend, just for the fact of you have great matchups. You have 2 days, right? Yep. Four great games, but it is the end, my friend. It really is, because the conference games. I mean, it's fine, it's good, but it's 2 games. It's hard to do DFS. It's hard to get a lot of different bets in, right? And then obviously the Super Bowl is its own beast, but this is it, man. This is the final hurrah of multi-day games of football, right?
That's it, dude. This might be the last weekend that I got this lip furniture, dude. I'm super nervous. I'm super nervous that the Bills had the last game this weekend. I got to sit through 3 games, and we're doing dry January, dude. I have no vices. This is like complete torture over here, dude. I'd rather just be strapped to a torture rack, I think. But here we are, dude. No one to blame.
Hey, it could be worse. It could be Raiders fan, right? Yeah. Right.
That's true. That's true.
Hey, Ben Johnson. Can I interest you in a Ben Johnson to the Raiders?
Yep. Him, Spytek's going to be the GM from Tampa. That's Tom Brady's old Tampa buddy. I hate to
super lost in Raiders Reddit.
Yeah. Nah, it's I won't believe it till I see it. I'll say
how likely is that to happen? But just quick quick little detour here before we get to the gambling. How likely is Ben Johnson go to the Raiders?
I think Brady really helps, man. I really do.
I think the main thing, I don't know why. I agree with that. I don't know why, but I think part of the problem is the Jaguars kept their GM and the Bears kept their GM. And he has said that him and the GM, basically, they want to come in together. He wants to have the right guy. So I think
Cowboys too, right? Cowboys are in the same boat.
Jerry's the GM, so he's out the window as far as he goes.
Right.
Yep. And we all know God hates Jags. So with that being said, Saturday at 4:30, Houston traveling to Kansas City. Now I pulled these lines from FanDuel earlier today. If you're looking at it right now on your FanDuel app, don't at me, dude. They may have changed. Okay, I had to pull these up earlier.
Don't at me, bro.
KC laying 8.5 -112. Houston plus 8.5 -108. KC minus 500 on the money line. Houston plus 385, and over under of 41.5. Initial thoughts, guys, before we start pulling up our best bets.
Go ahead, Jake.
It's weather for me, man. Like, I think I'm worried about that. What's the weather going to be like? How's that going to affect these offenses? Good run defenses. It's weather, and how much offense are we going to see, man? How much scoring are we going to see? We didn't see a ton when they played earlier. You saw it in sprinkles, but I don't know, man. 41.5 I thought was low, but I'm worried. I might not get there.
So Mixon banged up. He's going to go. It's football, right? But dude, that's huge, man. Because Dameon Pierce ripped off a 90-yard run against the Colts, but this ain't that, dude.
Right, Kansas City's run defense is phenomenal too, right?
Exactly. 23 and clear, sunny skies, 13-mile-an-hour winds, nothing too crazy there.
Cold.
It's gonna be cold, dude. They don't got the wind chill up here, but yeah, man, and it's gonna get dark, right? So, all right,
Yeah,
let's. Yeah. Sorry, Kev.
I think the weather's going to be a factor in these 3 outdoor games a little bit, not as much maybe in this one as the other two, but tell you it's going to be a good matchup. Is these DNs for Houston, Anderson and Hunter, against the left tackle, right tackle for the Chiefs. Tooney's playing tackle. I'm kind of interested to see how kind of pressure Houston can get, and if they can mess with Mahomes just a little bit.
Yeah, I agree 100%. We have to probably think that Mahomes' ankle is all but fixed after that. What is it, like a 3-week layoff?
If Matt is saying smack the over, I would put my
hammer
mortgage on the
under. Pinto Matt coming in.
Show Pinto Matt.
Oh, Pinto Matt. I could pull that clip up for y'all that haven't seen it. Matt, co-founder of Do Bet Me, and if you're Bills Mafia, you know who Pinto Ron is. Matt lost a bet. Matt's going to be getting Pinto Ron live on air once it hits 50 degrees in Buffalo, which may never happen again.
Appreciate you, Matt. Appreciate you, Matt.
Us.
Not me. I like it.
Appreciate the content. Yeah. Dude, let's get into the bets, man. Let's get in. Kev, would you mind pulling up Jake's bets? Houston, Kansas City. Jake, lead us off, brother.
Yeah, so I'm scared of that Houston offense, man. I don't know what CJ Stroud we're going to see. I'm really worried about that offensive line for Houston. So I'm a little nervous to bet too much on the Houston side. But I do really like your play from last week, man. I think Robert Woods, Bobby Trees, he's just that reliable guy, man, over the middle of the field. So I really like his lines here, over 1.5 receptions and over 18.5 receiving yards. He's gone over 1.5 receptions in 5 straight games, and he's gone over 18.5 in 4 straight games. So they're low numbers, man. I think he's going to get him, and we know him, man. He's crafty veteran. He gets open. He's just not the burner. He doesn't have the breakaway stuff that he had in his early days.
The only thing, Jake, real quick. Now, if y'all are watching on the graphics, we have highlighted what we think are our best bets on each graphic. They're highlighted in that lime color. But also, Bobby Trees popped up on the injury report.
Yes.
So that's something you need to watch going into tomorrow's game.
He's old,
If
man.
the player doesn't play, they'll void your bet.
Yes.
So, but the worst thing that could happen is that he plays, but gets re-injured real quick, right? So just monitor that.
It's a hip. So yeah, is it? He's questionable.
Dude, every day I'm questionable with a hip, man.
But again, he's not a speed guy, man. Like, if he's playing, I think he gets those lines. So that's the only one from Houston that I really liked, and it was my best bets. On the Kansas City side, I actually liked quite a lot. I didn't put everything I like on here because I didn't want to take up the whole damn
space on the paper.
Yeah, dude. But Mahomes has really been sprinkling it around, and that's something to watch here. Marquise Brown over 3.5. He's done that in the 2 games that he's been played. Hopkins over 2.5 and over 29.5, same thing. And so these numbers are just really low. These are like the security blankets, move the chains, high percentage stuff. Hopkins has gone over 2.5 in what is this? 5 out of the last 6 games, and he's gone over 29.5 in 5 of the last 6 as well. The only one he didn't was the Pittsburgh game on Christmas. So, and then the other one is Worthy, man. I like him. They have a rush yard for him over under at 4.5. And I think this could be a game where they use him in that, because I think they're going to try to slow down that pass rush, right, and take advantage of some of that aggressive D line play, and try to catch the edge. So 4.5 is nothing for rushing yards for Worthy, and so I really like that one. And then over 4.5 receptions. He's kind of, earlier in the year we saw him be used like their deep threat guy, right? And like everything was vertical, trying to get him down the field. But lately it's all been possession stuff. He's gotten much more refined as a route runner, and you've seen that from his targets. His targets have gone up at 6, 7, 6, 11, 11, and 9. So he's really feeding them, and he's gone over the 4.5 line in 5 straight games. So I really like it.
Yep. Love it. I think Hollywood Brown's sneaky. Now, this is their offense is slowly turning into trying to bet the Bills, where you just don't know who's going to go off week to week, dude.
Right.
So, dude.
That's why I stayed away from yards, because I worry about that. I think that's a great point, is you just don't know who's going to break one off, who's going to get fed more. The receptions one, though, I think are nice because they do spread the ball around, at least to a base level. But yeah, to know who the hot hand is, man, that is going to be tough.
I agree. Shout out Bobby Trees. There he is. Shout out Jeff from his couch. Shout out Jeff from Niagara Falls, Canada.
Oh, Canada. I do have one more that you're going to see in the ladders. So I'm going to sneak one more different play for the ladders. So
Perfect.
That's
Love it. Kev, hit yours, brother.
All right. On the Houston side, I might be the only one on the show and that's got a little bit on Houston. This +9, minus 120. I like a low scoring game, and can that defense get after Mahomes? So I like that a little bit. I know nobody else is probably in that bandwagon. Oh, he's all over the Ravens. Yeah.
Sorry, dude. Keep going.
Houston, KC under 41. We talked about the weather, more so a little bit of the wind than maybe the cold. This one here, a little juicy. Derek Stingley interception +546. Hey, Mahomes all year has been, he's been tending to give it up to the defense a little bit. So Stingley's probably top 3-4 corner in the league. And then Nico, anytime touchdown +170. He's the guy. If they're going to score any, they're going to go deep. It's going to be to Nico. So I like him to get one. On the KC side, Noah Gray, seems like a low number. I got him over 10.5 receiving yards at -118. Kelsey's Kelsey, but Noah Gray in some of these big games seems to make a handful of catches and big catches in some of these games. I've also got him at over 1.5 receptions at +110. Plus money for him just to get 2 catches. I like it. They kind of work that double tight end with him and Kelsey both. Speaking of Kelsey, got him anytime touchdown +150. They do like the tight ends in the red zone, especially Kelsey. And I've heard Mahomes kind of in some interviews talking his boy up. I'm assuming he's going to get him going. And then Patrick Mahomes over 4.5 carries, -114. I stayed away from the yards on him on the over-under, and just like the carries in this one. So that's kind of where I'm at here. Thoughts?
I love that when your best bets is under and Matt's yelling smack the over. I love that. Let's call that out immediately. I love the play on Gray because I think the number is attainable. That's 2 catches is going to get you those yards, right? So if you get one, you probably get the other, and if not, maybe you just get the receiving yards with one catch. With numbers that low, I like just playing that number, dude. He hasn't got the attention that he used to, but I could rock with all this, Jake.
I think I like it, man. I do. The Stingley interception, I sneakily really like. We've seen Mahomes, he's a little more risk adverse. He will put the ball out there, and boy, Houston's corners, their ball skills are ridiculous, man. So I do like that. That number is ridiculous.
Amari Lassiter, Stingley,
and I don't think any of the Chiefs receivers are really that dynamic to where you're going to worry about Stingley not being able to blanket them, right? And force some tight window throws. I like that one a lot, man.
What's that?
What's Lassiter's number?
I didn't look that one up. I didn't.
I mean,
he hadn't.
Look it up real quick. Because if it's greater than 2-1, dude, you play both of them. I mean, I love those odds.
Mahomes interception -115 too. You could parlay those. Yep. Some books, not all books, but the other one I really like is the Travis Kelce anytime touchdown. I really like, playoff Travis Kelce. He's the security blanket. That all this time off, they're going to have some red zone, ridiculous, super annoying plays drawn up, and so I really like that. +150 for Travis Kelce is nice.
I love it. And I'm on the opposite of some of this stuff. Kev's best bet in this game, he likes the under 41.5. It's a true meeting of titans here between Matt wanting the over and Kev wanting the under. I don't know who to fade, to be honest with you.
Kwame Lassiter is 546, so it's the same.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, you got to do both.
Play them both.
With
dude.
parlay each with a Mahomes interception.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
Love
All
it.
right. I put every single one of my bets that I played on these graphics this week. So
that is ridiculous.
That's a Jake. That
is my move. Yeah, dude. You literally copied my play. That's what I do.
This is a Chinese proverb. It's called cast a wide net. And hopefully some shit sticks. I believe that's the Chinese proverb.
Sounds right.
Stroud over 14.5 rushing yards. I think he's going to be running for his life in this game. He's hit this number a couple times, and he hit it against the Chiefs last time. Mixon under 57.5 rushing yards. I like this strictly because he is banged up. It's just a play on him being banged up, and he's probably going to go out there, right? So, dude, that's a high number anyways. I don't think he'd get that if he is healthy. So Mechie over 3.5 receptions. One of my best bets here. They're going to need to pass to have any success against Kansas City.
I like that one.
With Bobby Trees being banged up, I think that, we saw Mechie get some targets. He hit this in 2 out of the last 3 games. His target share is going up. I like Mechie maybe to turn it up a little bit here. Xavier Hutchinson. Kev asked me before the show, who is Xavier Hutchinson? Exactly. I found him in the deep dark corners of Houston. Hutchinson, 18 receiving yards. He's done this in 2 out of the last 3. Houston's gonna pass it.
Light card this week.
It's only one game, Brian. It's only 1 to 4 games.
Cast a wide net, dude. No one to blame. I'm going with the Schultz touchdown. KC is terrible against tight ends, one of the worst in the league. +325 number is incredible. And then I had Bobby Trees before I saw the injury news earlier this week. So obviously co-signed with Jake. On the other side, dude, I'm laying 9.5 with Kansas City. One of the best bets of the week. Dude, you're giving them a full 2 weeks to prepare against this Houston team. Dude, I mean, good luck. Kansas City's getting healthy. Houston's getting more banged up. Houston just played that tough game last week. They may have put up 30-something points, but it wasn't because the offense was just humming and clicking, dude. They still look choppy, and now they have to go to Kansas City, dude. This is going to have shades of Miami last year, in my opinion. Give me Kansas City -9.5. You can get better numbers other places. This is what I got. Travis Kelce game, dude. Travis Kelce over 5.5 receptions. Now, he's only done this in 2 out of the last 5 games, but he's had 7+ targets in the last 5 games. Houston has been getting cooked by the tight end the last 4 weeks. Playoff Kelsey is playoff Kelsey, dude. He turned up last year. These numbers will be, if he goes off this game, these numbers are going to be 7.5 again, like they used to be. I think that's way too low a number. The receiving yards correlation there, the Kelsey touchdown we talked about, sneaky little Hopkins touchdown revenge spot here, dude. He gets some end zone targets, plus 260, I think is a fantastic number there. Jake, one of my best bets. You hit on this. We are simpatico, dude. Worthy over 4.5 rush yards. So 10 out of the 12 games that Worthy has gotten a carry this year, he hit this number at 5, minimum 5. So there's only 2 games that he got a carry that he did not hit over 4.5 rush yards. Lock it up, take it to the bank. We'll catch you guys next week when we're counting our money. And then I also like Worthy over 54.5 receiving yards. Round out this really light card this week, only 4 games. We don't need to recap all of this. I think I went pretty long-winded unless you guys have some notes on that.
I think you'll see a theme. You know, you had the Worthy rushing. Jake had another wideout rushing. These playoff games, I think they get a little tricky. Some of these wideouts get some carries. We'll see some more of these on some more graphics moving forward, I think, too.
Absolutely. Jake, any closing thoughts on this game? Kevin, any closing thoughts?
I really like the Kelsey play, the playoff Kelsey. It's a real thing, man. And he has a historic streak that he's trying to keep going. I think it's 70 yards a game in the playoffs. He has like some kind of streak going or something. So our stat guy, look that up. Let us know. Matt Digert. But yeah, I think he's got a historic streak that he's trying to. He needs like 1 or 2 more games to get there. So
love it. Remember, our favorite plays, our best plays are highlighted in lime. We're just giving you guys everything we're playing. Do what you want with it. Saturday at 8 p.m., Washington is going to Detroit. Detroit laying 9.5. Washington plus 9.5. Detroit minus 550 on the money line. Washington plus 410. An over-under of 55.5. Now, this was shaded to the under, minus 112. Assuming that number is going to start coming down a little bit. I sneaky kind of like the under in this game. What are your guys' initial thoughts on this game before we get into Jake's best bets?
I like points. I think there's going to be points, man. I don't know if these defenses are going to show up. The only way it does is if it's Detroit's defense that shows up. I'm not sure Washington's going to be able to do a lot with their style of defense. Man coverage, blitzing, like Goff eats that up. Goff loves when you play man coverage and loves when you blitz. Ben Johnson does a really good job giving him the answers. Goff's really good at identifying it pre-snap. I just don't know Washington's going to be able to stop him enough. So that's my only concern for the under. But yeah, I'm excited. I think this can be a really good game. I hope Washington's offense can make it a track meet.
Yeah, Washington, they're speaking of their offense. Daniels got off to a slow start last week. He did not look – he looked off. He did not look good. He picked it up, second half of that game. If he gets off to a slow start in this one, they're going to be in trouble. I do like a high-scoring game. I don't think he'll have as slow a start as he did last week. Interested to see how Detroit uses Montgomery coming back. Gibbs has been – lights out as kind of the back when Montgomery's been since he's been out. Interested to see what kind of carry, what kind of run he gets coming back off that injury.
That's a good call out. And can Washington stop the run? Like, that's what I want to see too. This is a different beast, man. This is a very multiple running offense. A lot of different looks, man. It's a lot different than they saw the last few weeks.
Yeah, spoiler alert, they can't stop the run. Travis Kelce is going for Jerry Rice's playoff receiving touchdown record.
There you go.
Kelce's got 19. Jerry Rice has 22. That's insane. Okay, that just goes to show you. Now, the Chiefs have obviously played in a ton of playoff games. So
I wonder what that difference is in playoff games. Yeah,
Jerry played in a lot too. Playoffs, his Raider days he didn't see a lot, but when he was
he did. Yeah, he did.
They were good.
Hey, that was when they were still rolling, man. That was Rich Gannon to Tim Brown and Jerry Rice.
Leave Kevin alone, dude. Leave Kevin alone.
I was
All
giving him a chance to talk about the glory days, man.
Yeah,
They're
Kevin
long
can do
gone.
that on Locked On Raiders. Kevin's gonna be the new
Long
host.
gone. No.
Jake, hit your bets on this game. What do you like here?
All right, I like the sneaky Jaden Daniels interception here in this game. He hasn't thrown one in the last 2 games, but I think Aaron Glenn's style of defense, I think the different looks, the exotic pressures, I think they could force him into one. They're super opportunistic secondary with Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch, and I think they'll be able to get one in this game. So I got a Jaden Daniels interception, especially if the game script goes where Detroit, gets out in one and Daniels has really got to drop back and throw. De'Ami Brown over 2.5 receptions.
Oh.
He's been his guy now, man. He's heating up a little bit. I really like De'Ami Brown in this spot. You saw it last week. He started getting it going with Jaden Daniels, and so I really like him here. His last 5 games, he's had 4 receptions, 3 receptions, 4 receptions, 3 receptions, and 5 receptions. So he's cleared that number the last 5, and I think it'll continue here. That's his new Zacchaeus. And then my next one is Zacchaeus under 3.5. We loved Zacchaeus for a little bit, man. He was on our ladders. I am off the Zacchaeus train, man. I am off of it.
I'm off the Zacchaeus, dude. I'm feeling great.
I'm good, man. Yeah, I'm clean. No more.
You were the only one on it.
I was, dude. I was for 2 weeks.
Dude,
the ladder was so
Zacchaeus,
good.
Man.
The three ladders actually were good. So his last 2 games, he had 2 receptions and 3 receptions, and he's gone down in targets. He went 8, 9, 5, and now 3. So I kind of think De'Ami Brown stepped more into that role. Zacchaeus has kind of slid back. He'll get 2 catches, maybe 3 catches. I just don't see him going over. So I like that play here. I don't normally play unders, so that should tell you something. On the flip side, I love Sam Laporta over 4.5. They've really been trying to get him the ball more. I think he is going to see plenty in this game. He's gone for 7, 10, 7, 8, and 7 in targets. And he's gone over the 4.5 line in 4 of the last 5 games. So I think they're going to give him the ball here. Jamison Williams over 4.5 receptions is one of my best bets. Kind of the same thing you saw with Xavier Worthy. Like, he was the deep threat guy, and now he's not. Now he's more over the middle. He's hitting some comeback routes, some tunnel screens, some at the line of scrimmage stuff. So he's gone over 4.5 in 3 straight games. His targets have gone up the last 3 games as well, and I don't see that changing. I think he's really their guy with Laporta over the middle, kind of giving him Amon-Ra a break from some of that stuff. The last one I got is Gibbs over 24.5 receiving yards. They've really been getting him more involved in the passing game the last few weeks. He's gone 6, 5, 4, 4, and 5 for receptions. And he's gone over 24.5 in 5 straight games, man. So I really like him over 24.5.
Dude, you got it. Yeah.
You got it, man.
Haj in the chat said he got Zacchaeus in college. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Hey,
and that's nasty stuff.
It was hard to get rid of it. Yeah, dude. It was tough.
What do you guys think about a Jamison Williams over a half rush yard?
Yes.
You think they get
like
tricky a little bit? A little reverse action?
Yes.
Let's see. They haven't been doing a lot of it lately. Earlier in the year, they were definitely giving him looks. But
I love it.
Shot,
Yeah,
right?
Jay. Yeah,
He's
Jay.
had 2 carries, 1 carry in the last 3 weeks. So 3 carries in the last 3 weeks.
Interesting. Yeah, I like the Laporta over 4.5. Gibbs over 24.5 receiving. I've been on that a number of weeks here, these last 6. So yeah, I'm on board with most of that.
Ever since I got off the Zacchaeus, dude, I just been so clear-headed, dude. I've had like a new life, man.
Mind right.
You've been all on the. You get off the Zacchaeus and you get on the De'Ami, man.
If you're on the Zacchaeus, man, I implore you, just hop off and just see what life's like without the Zacchaeus, dude. All right, love it, Jake, love it, Kev. Well, what are you cooking up for this Washington-Detroit game? What is this?
Washington
Bets for ants?
side. What?
What are these bets for ants?
Hey, clean, simple, small, to the point.
Can't read them.
I can read them just
don't,
fine.
Don't listen to me. Just keep going.
Terry McLaurin, over 69.5 receiving yards. If they're going to put points up, he's going to feed him. So if this is going to be a high-scoring game, I like that over. Also got McLaurin anytime touchdown plus 110. Kind of same thing. If they're going to keep this game close, he's going to be the guy, in my opinion. And Jaden Daniels, first TD plus 1,300. Just tossed a little first TD out there. Let's see him break a run. It's a long one. That's an NBA 3, Chuck, there, half court heave. We'll try it.
Yeah.
David Montgomery on the Detroit side. Montgomery under 46.5 at minus 110. Just anxious to see how they're going to use him coming back from the injury. Is he healthy? Have they been kind of, anyway, just I like the under in that. Montgomery's coming off, and Gibbs has been so good just as a lead back.
So you know what's
so
funny?
I think
before you move on to Gibbs, Kev, Montgomery, before he got hurt, dude, he was getting receptions, and we were betting his over 2.5 receptions prop because he was smashing it every week. 3, 3, 3, 5, 4, and 30, 36, 31, 33, 36. I mean, his rushing yards have been going further down. So this is super interesting to me with him coming back in the way that Detroit, they like to scheme certain things up. And is he going to be a decoy? Is he going to be out there? But only, let's see, 3 out of like the last 9 games, he's went over 46.5 when he was healthy. So they've been using him a lot differently than what they did even to start the year, even last year. So that's a very sneaky play right there. I dig that.
Yeah, and let's say this game, if it gets out of hand, game script, and say Detroit goes up, is he going to see the field even as much as they thought he would? So they might, maybe keep him off the field a little bit. So I think that could affect that. And then Gibbs, over 82.5 rushing. It's a high number, but man, he's a top 2-3 back in the league these last 5-6 weeks, whatever it is. I'll take
Hell
it.
yeah. Yeah. Is he going as a top 3 running back in fantasy next year?
In my opinion, yes.
Hell yeah. This dude's doing crazy stuff that no one's talking about, man. He's rushed for over 100 yards the last 3 games, and he's went for at least 30 yards on the ground, 31, 46, 45, 83 against Buffalo, dude. Like,
he's tied for league lead in rushing touchdowns.
He's an animal.
Yeah.
Do you remember everyone clowned? They all Detroit when they picked him, dude. Like, oh, how are you picking him? You have bigger fish to fry, this, and that. And it's like, man, yeah. Now who's
Gibbs one more?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Kev. Yep. Cosign. I like your put it in reverse, Terry. I like those picks, dude. I mean, 69.5 receiving yards. That could be two catches for Terry. I'm with it. Plus money on the touchdown. I'm with that too. Jake, any thoughts on Kev's card?
I like the Terry touchdown as well. I think the Montgomery one's smart. I don't know how much they're going to give him. It's smart to at least try the under, especially with those odds.
Yeah, I'm with it. I like that a lot. And maybe they do want to get him out in the flat a little bit more instead of taking contact on that knee, right? So, yep, I'm with you there. Let's keep it moving. I only got a couple bets for this game.
Oh my God!
Cast a wide net, dude.
I know Jake's not talking.
I'm gonna take a nap.
Jake's just upset because he thought that we weren't putting all of our bets on.
Yeah, geez. I didn't know we were putting everything on the whole sports book. Jeez.
I'm giving out all of my bets. I don't feel like putting these.
It's hard to not hit some when you bet every single one.
Hey, dude. It's quality over quantity, right? Small margins flood the market. Here we go. Jaden Daniels over 234.5 passing yards. He's hit this 7 times this year. Not a ton, but I think
That neon.
A lot of neon in there.
Is getting him.
But I think the game script's going to force them to pass early and often in this game. And you can see that for the rest of my bets on there. How about Daniels over 22.5 completions? He hit this in 6 out of the last 7. The only game that he didn't was because he was pulled in that Dallas game. He's been a completion monster. And then just Neffy huffing Daniels bone. Dude, I'm off the Zacchaeus, dude. I'm on the Daniels, dude. Straight down the gullet. Daniels over 54.5 rushing yards. It's a high number, but against this Detroit defense, who, you know, if there's one small piece of kryptonite for Detroit's defense, it's mobile quarterbacks. I think he's going to be running for his life in this game. It's the playoffs. He's going to lay everything on the line. 54.5 is a number that he could hit very easily. You could see that I'm back on the Zacchaeus here. Over 3.5 receptions. If Daniels is making all these completions, he's got to throw it to someone. I got the McLaurin number at 68.5. Eckler over 23.5 receiving yards, and then Ertz over 23.5 receiving yards. All Washington overs. All those numbers are small. If I like the Daniels numbers all to smash over, I need some receivers to catch those balls. That's the thought process. Over to the Detroit side, once again, dude, Detroit minus 9.5. I think what Washington did this year is great. I think they completely outkicked their coverage. They got a lot of new pieces in that building that are all meshing together. Jesse going looking for that Zacchaeus. Come on, man. You got any of that Zacchaeus, man?
Think you found it.
Yeah, dude. So once again, just like Kansas City, you're going to give these teams, 2 weeks to prepare. Washington's got 6 days to prepare. I think it's just a huge mismatch here. Detroit minus 9.5. Same as Kansas City, same exact handicap. Detroit team total over 31.5, dude. They hit this in 4 of the last time. It's playoff times, dude. One pride. Hashtag one pride. Let's go, Lions. I got the Gibbs over receiving yards with you guys. Gibbs rushing yards. We know we like this. He hit this in 3 out of the last 3. Washington has given up the 4th most rushing yards. I don't care that Montgomery's back. Washington is a sieve on defense. I was all over Bucky Irving last week. I think he only got to 77. Gibbs is a different animal. Dude, Laporta touchdown plus 150. I just like the number there. St. Brown to score a touchdown minus 125. That number should be way higher, dude. So Diami Brown, Jake's darling, was taken before him, and 15 other receivers were taken before him. He's got this chip on his shoulder. He's been talking about it. It's minus 125. I love it, dude. I like him to get 2. And then if you're going to bet 2, sprinkle 3 at plus 2,100, dude. Yeah. I was on the Zacchaeus when I typed all this up. So
do you need an oxygen tank? Are you okay?
No, I'm feeling winded. I might throw my back out again, but here we are, dude. The show must go on.
I see you got the Williams over a half rush yard on there.
Yep. I'm sorry, I glossed right over that. Yep. Jameson Williams over half yard rush yard. This is just, dude. If he gets a carry, he's going to get this, and he's gotten carries. I think over 60% of his games this year. So as long as he doesn't get tackled behind the line of scrimmage, he's good, dude. What could go wrong? No one to blame. Okay, let's keep it moving. Next game up, Sunday at 3:00. The Los Angeles Rams are heading to the Link, Philadelphia. The Rams were catching 6.5 points, minus 115 today. Philadelphia minus 6.5, minus 105. The lines are from FanDuel. The Rams plus 225 in the money line. Philly in a robust minus 275 in the money line. Over under a 43.5, and it was actually juice on the over minus 115. So the Rams line is probably going to come down, and this over 43.5 is probably going to get up to 44 by kickoff, maybe 44.5, 45. Jake, give us your thoughts and go run through your bets, brother.
Weather has got me really worried about this game. We talked about all the outdoor games having some kind of weather, but I really worry about it here. I don't know, like Stafford in cold and in rain is not done great. So I don't know, man. I'm a little concerned about that Rams side. I really like the team, but I think it's a bad matchup, and outside in the cold has me very worried.
Yep. Let's see here.
Trying to pull up the forecast here, but it's supposed to be snow.
Definite snow. Looking at an 80% chance, 33 degrees, and winds about 9 miles an hour. Yeah, man.
3 to 5 inches of snow too, not like a little dusting.
That's what she said. Hey-o.
Yo, whoa.
She wishes.
All right.
Keep it moving.
All right. So, Kevin, any thoughts? Snow globe game. How do you like the Rams in the snow? Who is the advantage?
That Rams defensive front has been one of the better ones second half of the season. That matchup against that Philly O line, it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. See if they can handle the run as much as they handle the pass. They like to get after the quarterback, but man, is that Philly line just going to be able to kind of wear on them as the game goes on with Barkley and Hurts running the ball? So I'm anxious to see how that matchup plays out.
Yeah, dude, if the Rams defensive line can't get to or at least get pressure on Hurts, dude, their secondary is going to get carved up. They need to get pressure for this defense to work, dude. They did last week on Darnold. They got 9 sacks on Darnold. This is a different beast, dude. These two teams played in Los Angeles a little bit earlier this season, and Rams got schmacked by 17 points, 37-20. Saquon ran for 255 yards. A.J. Brown went for 100. I mean, I don't know.
It's
dude.
a bad
Really
matchup,
defense.
man. Style-wise,
Yes.
it's not a good matchup.
Dude, all 3 of these games outside the Buffalo-Baltimore game, the underdog has a horrible matchup. It literally, their kryptonite is what they're playing, and they're all on the road, dude. I know going chalk
with weather too.
Yes, going chalk just seems like such a square play. I just think we're gonna see these home teams, dude, smacking these guys. Bad matchups.
Yep.
Jake, run through your bets, brother.
I got a Kyron Williams under 2.5 receptions. He's gone for 3 receptions in the last 2 games. He's gone 3 or more receptions 6 times this year. But it's stylistically, I don't think it's going to be there. Philly doesn't blitz. They don't run a lot of crazy stuff. They let their 4 guys go. It's a Fangio defense. They play keep the top on, come downhill. In the game earlier this year, he had no targets, no catches. And I think it's going to be something similar here. Like the screens aren't going to be there. I don't think the receptions are going to be there. So I have him under 2.5. Again, I don't normally play unders, but this week has just got that kind of vibe. I have Matthew Stafford over 0.5 rushing yard. Can he just fall forward one time? It's the same kind of thing.
The old man, yeah,
right. Like he's not immobile, right? There's definitely guys who can run less than he can. He just doesn't choose to do it. But he can. I think he'll get over one in the playoffs, do or die. Even the weather too.
Dude, he's gone negative more times than he's gone positive. I think
he has, dude, which is it's really hard to do in today's NFL. But yes, he's had 2 carries for -1 yard last week. He had 16 yards the week before. He had -4 3 weeks ago.
He averages 1.4 yards a carry.
Yes. Hey, just give me average, baby. Just give me average.
Let's go, dude.
Right,
Let's
right.
go.
So Stafford over 0.5. You saw that right. That's not a typo. 0.5 of a rushing yard. I got Jalen Hurts to go under 205. Under 205 passing yards. They haven't been throwing the ball a ton. He hasn't looked good since he's come back. He went for 131 last week against Green Bay. The passing offense didn't look great. He's gone for 108, 118, 179, 202, 114, 158, 183 this year. He's gone under the number a lot. If the game script goes like we think it is, bad weather, snow, running the ball a lot with Barkley, I don't think they're going to throw it a ton. And so I think he's going to be under 205 pretty easily. Kenneth Gainwell, I like him to go over 9.5. Again, we're talking running game, right? I think they're going to give him some carries. They always give him at least 3 carries. He's had 14 the last 2 weeks, yards, that is. Last time they played the Rams, he had 5 for 22. And yeah, if we're talking a running game, man, he's going to get some carries. And really that's, 1 or 2 carries for him. He has 7 games with a carry over 9.5 rushing yards. So I like that spot. Barkley over 12.5 receiving yards. They really like to let the Rams come forward on the rush, and they were dumping the ball out to Barkley last time they played. I could see that again here. Barkley's receptions have not been around the last 6 weeks. He's gotten 2 receptions in 4 of those 6 games, but he hasn't gotten over 10 yards in 4 of those 6 games. He hasn't gotten over 10 yards in 6 straight games. That's why the number's so low. But the Rams game is really his last good game. He had 4 receptions for 47 yards. He had 52 the week before that.
He had
And
300 all-purpose yards.
Right, he had 300 all-purpose yards. So, and I there's gonna be a ladder that talks about that later. Don't worry. But I do think this is a game where he does get a little bit. He does get a little bit of some receiving yards here. So I like him over 12.5. We know with him that's one catch.
One catch is Saquon.
Yep. Yeah, he's had catches longer than that in 5 games this year. So 6 games, sorry. So I like him there. The next one's Jahan Dotson, over 3.5 receiving yards. 3.5. Extremely low. He's caught passes in the last 2 games. He's gone over that in the last 2 games. I think they're going to incorporate him a little bit more in that offense. And again, he's kind of like a safety guy, just going out there and catching just a short pass. Last week, his reception was in the red zone. 3.5 yards, man. It's crazy.
That's
crazy.
his line?
Yep.
Receptions?
And with Hurts out,
I think my line for me personally was at like 1.5, and he's an NFL wide receiver. What are we talking about?
Yeah, so he had 3 straight games when Hurts was out with no catches, no targets, no nothing. And then the last 2 games, he had 11 targets for 7 receptions and 94 yards against the Giants, right? That was the resting game. And then Green Bay, he had 2 targets, 1 catch for 11 yards. So we're talking 3.5 yards. I like it. I think he'll get at least a target. And then Dallas Goedert over 3.5. If this is a bad weather game, a snow game, I think it's going to be more short stuff, over the middle safety stuff. And Hurts and Goddard have really built up a good rapport of that. And so I really like that number here. He's gone over it in 4 of the last 5 games. And so I like that here. If it's bad weather, I still like it. They're still going to throw it a little bit.
Yep.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, I like the Stafford half. Them crazy small numbers like that, I'm on them. I like them.
Right, in the playoffs too, man. Right?
Yeah, they're going to do whatever they need to do to get a yard, to get a first down, to move the chain or whatever. They'll do more now than they would have in week 7 of the regular season. So
it's do or die, man. We're in the
playoffs. Don't talk about it. Playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs.
Just watching Kevin's face like
hit it. No, I love it. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Hurts. I like the Hurts under on the passing. Are we convinced he is completely clear-headed after his concussion? Like,
no.
I don't know. I haven't talked to him, but
let me text him real quick.
He's probably watching right now. Hurts, hop in the chat, dude. Let us know how you're feeling, brother.
Get in the chat, brother. I'm checking on you, making sure you're good.
He loves his gambling podcast, dude.
Yeah. I had heard a couple different shows talk about like just some of the play calling, some of the, I don't know if it was after the game too. Like they said he just didn't seem maybe like himself. It's the only reason I even brought it up. Just some chatter.
I don't know. He threw for 2 touchdowns last week.
Yeah.
Only $131, but that's just how that game went. You know what I mean?
But
I don't know.
Yeah, they're bad weather. They're going to run the ball like the under on Hurts. Yep.
All right, Jake. Thanks for your picks, Kev. Let's see it.
Ain't got much on this one. Bad weather game. I got the Rams +6. Just not very confident. As I see Jesse shaking his head here. Every year there's a hot team that comes in and upsets. This is a total mismatch for the Rams against that offense. Like I get it, but it happens every year. Somebody comes in as a big dog and upsets somebody. So yeah, give me 6 in this one. Puka is one of my best ones here. Again, these wide receivers rushing in the playoffs. Puka over 2.5 rush yards. McVay gets crafty, gets creative, gets him a carry. He hits that. Cooper Kupp has not really been a factor lately, so they've been kind of creative getting Puka the ball. He is the focus of that pass game now. So on the Philly side, AJ Brown over 4.5 receptions. He was whining again after the game last week about not getting the ball. So if Hurts is going to throw it, he's going to give the squeaky wheel the grease. I'm starting to not like AJ Brown. Maybe Tennessee was onto something.
No.
Zach
Expand.
Ertz over 29.5 receiving. Kind of to Jake's point, these the short pass game and these bad weather games like the tight ends.
Zach Ertz, that's the Washington game. Do you mean Goddard?
Oh. Yep.
I
don't know. That was a big typo on my part. Yep.
In the divisional round,
Goddard.
He used to be there.
Yeah, long time ago.
there haven't been a ton of upsets in the divisional round, I don't believe. The last one that I'm really seeing, 2019, the Titans upset the Ravens 28-12. That's when Lamar was the MVP.
A one seed, right?
Yeah, they were 14-2, and the Titans beat them 28-12.
There's been two outright wins of a +8 or higher spread in the playoffs. That was one of them, I think.
The history of the playoffs?
I don't remember. But yeah, outright winners as an 8-point or higher dog. Who we got here, Jeff? Is this the week we get Trubisky anytime TV?
God damn it, Jeff. Read the room, dude. We're talking about the Rams and the Eagles, dude.
God damn it, Jeff.
Jeff's
he's all over.
Falls,
he is all over that.
It's a Neffy special. You just throw everything against the wall and see what sticks.
See what sticks.
We do hang out a lot.
It's not about making money. It's just about winning bets.
So road underdogs of 7 to 11 points are 12-25 straight up.
That's pretty good.
That was, yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to find these stats. Kev, I think AJ Brown is a stud.
He is a stud.
I don't care that he was reading a book. He's read the book. I don't
care about the book
plenty of times. It's okay, Jeff. We'll get to you, dude. Well, Jeff, we're gonna pull Jeff's comment back up later in the show. It's not your fault, Jeff. I think him reading a book in the sidelines, fine, dude. I don't care. He's done it multiple times this year. Whatever you got to do to catch the ball, dude, I don't care. Is it a little bit bizarre? Sure. Do wide receivers need attention, hugs and kisses, and all that? Yeah, dude, they do. It's all the time. So like none of that bothers me, dude. If I'm an Eagles fan, now if I'm not, I'm like, hey, this dude's an idiot. Why you read on the sidelines, right? I like the Ertz play. I like that. It was my best bet. One of my better bets for that Detroit game. Dude, I told you, you're on the Zacchaeus, dude. You don't know what's gonna happen. You get your tight ends mixed up when you're off that Zacchaeus, dude. Is Jake sleeping?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's pull mine up. Dude.
Wake me
got
up.
A couple here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at
Slim card.
Is that because the bankroll ran out by the time you got to this game, or what?
Pretty much. Pretty much. So Matt Stafford over 225.5 passing yards. I know that number looks ugly, but playoff.
Are you scared about 3 to 5? 3 to 5?
No, dude. I've been living with 3 to 5 my whole entire life. I'm completely comfortable with 3 to 5, dude. I've been handling 3 to 5 for about 35 years, dude. And the irony there, 3 to 5 again, dude. So, yeah. He hasn't hit this number. He's hit it once in like the last 6 or 7 games, but I think this is game script. And I think he's gonna, if they're down, which I think they are, and you're gonna have to chuck it. The Philly defense is good, dude. I don't know. I'm taking a little dart throw there. Now here's one that's
What about a
super.
Stafford interception?
Yeah, I love a Stafford
Absolutely.
interception. Didn't put it on the card, dude.
Ran out of room or ink.
Ran out of ink.
Ran out of
Cooper Kupp over 4.5 receptions. He's only done this in 1 out of the last 5 games, but it's do or die. It's almost, he's not the one complaining, but you're hearing it everywhere. You're hearing everybody's talking about Cooper Kupp. Dude, I mean, McVay's going to get him the ball this week, dude. They need Cooper Kupp to be involved, and they're going to have to limit Puka on the Eagles' side. I mean, if they can limit Puka, dude, they're in good shape. No, even if Kupp gets his touches, so I feel like that's going to be their game plan, dude. Stop Kyron, stop Puka, and the Rams are really in trouble, and the Eagles could do both. So give me Kupp over 4.5 receptions. One of my best bets on this card. Any thoughts on those two?
I worry about Stafford, dude, in the snow.
I know.
You know, I don't.
Yeah.
If that's the only thing, man. Otherwise, I don't. I like the matchup. I like him throwing the ball a lot, but man, I just really worry about that.
I'm with you.
I wish the Cup was. I liked it because I'm a big fan of his. But man, for some reason, there are complete games where he is just not involved. To your point,
Is he cooked? Is he done? You think? Is it an injury? Is it what?
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, no one's gonna know. I mean, it could be. I mean, I don't know. They could just keep trotting him out there because he's a distraction, but and just keep not using him. Like, I don't know. Even his target share, dude, like 1-3-3-3 his last 4 games. So he had 8 against Buffalo. He went 5 for 92 and a tud against Buffalo. Go figure. The thing I like, you know,
Then
maybe
they
play his yards over. I know. Cooper Kupp longest reception, dude. He's hit 29, 29, and 37. That's something to look at if you're interested. Take it to the other side, dude. Let's get to the Eagles here. Gainwell over 9.5 rushing yards. I know Jake liked that. Saquon's gonna be running like a madman. They're gonna have to rest him at certain points during the game. You can't run him 10 times in a row. Gainwell only needs a few touches to hit this number, dude. It's way too low. If Philly is up, which they probably will be, this is even better, dude. Because if they're going to be up by a couple touchdowns, put in Gainwell, dude. Rest Saquon. That's the way I see this game going. Super chalky this week, but like I said, I just think the matchups are bad for these road teams. Hurts over 38.5 rushing yards, very attainable number. He did this the last time these two teams played. The Hurts rushing this year, he's went over this prop plenty of times. Let me pull this up. Sorry. 3 out of the last 4 games, he's hit this number. And the one that he didn't, he got to 36. And that was against Green Bay last week. So he hit 3 for 41 against Washington, 15 for 45 against Pittsburgh, 8 for 59 versus Carolina. He scored touchdowns in all those games too. So it hurts. Touchdown is probably with 2 juice. That's probably what I put up there. But how about Dallas Goedert, dude? Goddard's been turning it up. He's got an injury designation. He's got an illness. The dude is a straight Neanderthal. He's going to play in this game. But that is something to worry about. So over 36.5 receiving yards. He's hit this in 3 out of the last 5. He's had longs of 17 plus in 4 out of the last 5. So it only takes him a few catches to probably hit this number. The Rams gave up the 4th most receiving yards to tight ends this year, and they've given up the most yards to tight ends in the last 4 games. This number is way too low, in my opinion. I also like Devonta Smith over 54.5 receiving yards. I think that number is too low. If Hurts throws for under 200, AJ Brown and Smith can both hit their overs and still be well over hit Hurts's number. So he doesn't need to throw a lot to hit this number. It's just too low. I like the number here, man. The Slim Reaper is he's one of my favorite wide receivers in the league. Thoughts?
So I was gonna do a Devonta Smith ladder until I saw the weather. I really love him in this game. I love the matchup. I like him up over 100 yards. I just when I saw the weather, I just couldn't do it. 54.5 is a different ball game than talking about laddering above that, right? But I do like his matchup in this game. I just really worry about the weather. The Gainwell one, I was going to do a ladder on that one as well. The issue was the lines weren't out. For me, they are now. So 25 plus rushing yards is plus 475, and 40 plus rushing yards is plus 1500. So I will definitely be betting both of those. Just if we're talking snow game, Phillies up, let's say at all, in either of those cases, they're running the ball a lot. I think he's going to get the carries, and those are just way too good odds not to hit 25 and 40 yards on Gainwell.
Yep, I'm with you there. Right now. They got the snow right around halftime. The snow should really dip down. So we'll see how that game plays out, and it doesn't take much to hit that number. So I do still like it. And I know you put that Smith ladder together. We could talk about it later, and just
would you
err to the side of caution of playing it is all right.
The Jalen Hurts touchdown. What do you think the odds are?
Minus 185.
Kevin?
Minus 115.
Minus 110.
Wow. What?
Yeah.
Playoffs?
Yep.
Oh my God.
I was surprised. But he hasn't scored in a couple of games because of the concussion, and so. But.
Yeah, that's true. And are they really going to risk, running him? Well, but they're maybe not a designed run though. Oh, dude, that's
playoffs.
He didn't score his last 2 games, but the previous 3 he did score. One of those games against Baltimore. Yep. Let's round that out. Let's get into the last game, the best game of the week, going to be the best game of the season. Well,
no, it's not, because it's going to be a Bills blowout.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Saturday at 6:30 p.m. Baltimore is traveling to Snowy Orchard Park in Buffalo, New York. Baltimore was a minus 1.5 point favorite when I got these lines earlier, but only minus 102. Buffalo plus 1.5, minus 120. Buffalo seems to be taking a little bit of money. Baltimore minus 112 in the money line. Buffalo minus 102. An over-under of 51.5 shaded to the under right now, minus 114. That number should come down a little bit, and I think rightfully so. I think 51.5 is too many points for these two good defenses. Initial thoughts, guys? This is a banger.
I want to know how much weather is going to play a factor in here. We're talking single digits. Feels like there's a chance of some snow in this one. I'm not sure who is going to have the advantage here, right? If weather does factor, we've seen Josh in cold games and he was fine. So what did Brady say?
Student comes in. I have the show's volume playing in surround sound, and even with the subwoofer, Kevin's picks still sound light. Light, Kevin, light. So back to Jeff's comment.
He was trying to balance you out. That's what it was. Your pick volume.
Man. As a show is a yeah. The show volume is it's a lot. So back to Jeff. Is this the week we get a Trubisky anytime touchdown? Probably not. So he answers his own question there. But I'll take a Dawson Knox, James Cook, Josh Allen anytime touchdown parlay. Ooh,
I love it.
Can someone cook that up real quick?
Speaking of who's on the cicada?
Yeah, dude, we're on the Zacchaeus, dude. Bills fans have been on the Zacchaeus for a long time. How do you think we started jumping through tables, dude? We're off that Zacchaeus.
Yeah. As far as this game goes, hey, I'm just gonna sit back and watch this game, man. This is the best matchup you could ask for. Lamar and Allen going at it. Going back to week 4, Henry and Lamar had good days. Josh Allen did not. I don't look for that to happen again. Interested to see how these teams adjust to the weather, though. We know what Buffalo, this is what they do. Anxious to see how Lamar and that offense, depending on how bad the weather actually is.
Student comes in. I'd also like to light my money on Fire Kaluzny. I have a Tyler Bass to record a sack. Hell yeah.
All right,
dude.
so I cooked up that anytime touchdown.
What
Josh
odds did you
Allen, James Cook, Dawson Knox, all to score a touchdown, plus 36.49.
Wow, I only got plus 2,300.
Well, for me, it was the Dawson Knox piece. He was plus 550 at FanDuel. FanDuel, our official sports book, plus 550. James Cook was plus 105. Josh Allen was plus 105.
I got Josh Allen minus 112. My book must be taking some action on Allen because I got him at plus 110 earlier in the week. One thing to note in this game, so Buffalo Blueprint, I know you guys just talked at length about the Ravens and Bills matchup. If you didn't check out Buffalo Blueprint, make sure you guys go and do it. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow night, Third and Manageable with Student and Matt. They're going to be talking about this incredible divisional round matchup between the Ravens and the Bills. One thing that we need to remember, we didn't have both of our starting linebackers. We didn't have Von Miller, and our starting safety got hurt like 10 plays into the game, dude.
Taron Johnson didn't play either. Our starting
and Taron Johnson.
Yeah.
You want to? I mean, come on, dude. Yeah, we got blown out, and everyone wants to refer to that, but like, let's make this thing happen, dude. The cicadas are hibernating, guys. Okay. I think he's on the wrong stream. Taj comes in. Henry under 96.5 rushing yards. Matt comes in. We did have Von.
I thought Von was suspended that game.
Yeah, I thought Von was suspended too, Matt.
I think he was limited snaps that game, actually, and then he was suspended for the next couple.
Okay. Yeah, so he didn't play much.
He didn't play much in that game.
Matt, whose side are you on, dude?
Yeah, Matt, what the fuck?
So you build
quit ruining our narrative.
You guys get on the same page.
Yeah, not till Houston.
Yeah, not till H. Houston.
H. Houston. What is he? George W. Bush?
He's on the Zacchaeus, dude.
He's on the Zacchaeus.
The dude's off the Zacchaeus right now. Jake. So Jake is our resident head of analytics and data at Do Champions, fellow DGen. So he is going to have some solid plays in this game because I know you've broken it down from all angles. Jake, Let it rip, Tater Chip.
All right. Starting with Derrick Henry, over 1.5 receptions. I would not parlay this. I'd keep it solo. Plus 162 is great odds. He's had 2 receptions in the last 2 games. I think this is a game where they're going to incorporate him as well. They know Buffalo's not great with screen passes. And so I could totally see him get a couple looks here, try to get the ball in his hands as much as possible. So 2 receptions for Derrick Henry, plus 162. Next one's Justice Hill. Derrick Henry under 96.5 rushing yards. I don't actually hate that one. Justice Hill is the next one for me. Over 2.5 receptions. He had 4 last week. He had 5 against the Giants. He had 4 against Philly. So the last 3 meaningful games, he's gone over 4 receptions. The last time the Bills played them in week 4, he had 6 receptions. So I really like him to go over 2.5. I didn't like his yards because I do think we cover the running backs better now that Milano's healthy, Bernard's playing. But I do think he's still going to get his targets. He's going to be that dump off release valve for Lamar. So I like him to go over 2.5. I do like him rushing though. I like him. His rushing number is only 8.5. That is super low. He had 12 last game. He had 30 the week before. He missed it by 1 yard 3 weeks ago. And then he went for 55, 13, and 15. Last time they played Buffalo, he had 4 carries for 18 yards. So I think they're going to sprinkle him in and still give him some draws and some carries. 8.5 yards is nothing. Then Lamar Jackson over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Minus 108. I just thought the number was good for how often he goes for 2 or more passing touchdowns. He's gone for 2 or more passing touchdowns in 7 straight weeks. And he's done it in 11 of 12. So it's just What's up?
Don't mean to cut you off. You know how many times he's thrown in 2 TD passes in a road playoff games he's been in?
Right, but this is a different Lamar. He's not been this efficient either, so I get it. But I'm playing the odds of this season, not history. I prefer more recent history. So I'll take 11 of 12 at minus 108. Doesn't mean it's gonna be guaranteed. No, of course not. But
Getting
I'll take
spicy. I know when to blame.
I'll take the more recent trend over necessarily history. Do I hope it happens? Absolutely not, right? I'll be rooting for it not to happen, but minus 108 is too good a number for a guy who's gone over that line 11 of 12 games. So, on the other side, I like Keon Coleman in this game. The Ravens like to run man coverage, and I think when plays break down, when Josh has him one-on-one outside with single high coverage, he's willing to give Keon jump balls and opportunities. I like him to go over his long of 16 and a half receptions. When Josh does target him, it is downfield. So he's gone over 16 and a half in was that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 of his 14 games this year. And then his over under this game is only 23 and a half. He's gone over that in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games this year. So I like those paired together a lot. Curtis Samuel over 9.5, a long reception of over 9.5. That is just nothing. Like I just don't know if they know what to do with Curtis Samuel because they've only started incorporating him in the offense the last 2 weeks. He's finally healthy. He does really well against man coverage. You saw that last week against Denver. Again, Baltimore likes to run man coverage. Josh looked for him against the blitz too. And so I think he's going to have his opportunities here. 9.5 is nothing, man. He's had receptions over 9.5 in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games this year. So really like it. The other one, Dawson Knox, over 10.5 for his long reception. He doesn't get the volume, but when he gets targeted, it's usually down the field. And so I like him to go over a reception more than 10.5. He's done that in 3 of 4. So I think he'll do it again here. Taylor Rapp interception. I like it. I hope he gets it. Check out Dew's offensive and defensive reports as well as the ref report. Yeah, Matt puts out the ref report breaking down the tendencies of the referee crew for the matchup. Check it out. It's really good on Dew Champion social media. It'll give you the insights to the tendencies for the ref crew that we have for Sunday night. And then he did one this week for offensive and defensive tendencies and what both teams like to run. And it's really good stuff. So check it out.
Dew Champions, Facebook, X, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok for only a couple more days, probably. Go check us out, guys. We got a ton of awesome information. It's a Buffalo-based podcast, but no one to blame. We're all over the place, baby. Jake, keep it going.
The last one's Matt Collins. He's kind of been the guy, right, for Josh, just big plays. He's gone over 16.5 in 4 straight games. So I really like him in this spot. I think if Josh is facing pressure, I think he's going to get the targets. They like to go on when condensed formations off play action, and I think you're going to see that in this game. There's going to be a lot of running in condensed formations, big bodies. Instead of having Kincaid come in and be an inline blocker in some of their 2 tight end sets, they'll actually have Matt Collins line up as a tight end and be the inline blocker instead of Kincaid, and then he'll go out and run passes. So that's where he's been getting a lot of his targets is when he's in line like that, and I think that is good against this man-heavy Ravens team. So I like him here.
I think that bodes well for Kincaid too, because I think Hollins is actually probably a better blocker than Kincaid is anyway.
For sure. And then he doesn't get beat up inside too and tangled up. And yeah, totally.
I got an interesting, Kev, you run through yours, and when I run through mine, I got a couple interesting news and notes about this game. A couple tweets that rubbed me the wrong way that I want to get to.
Buffalo, you got them Ravens fans coming at you?
No, Ed Reed,
okay.
But keep going.
Oh, yeah, I saw that one. That one was great. About
I did
Josh.
not. I want to hear that.
Okay.
So yeah, Mark Andrews over 3.5 receptions at minus 104. Big game. Weather's bad, windy. he's Lamar's guy. Playoffs, I just feel like he's going to go to him. Hill over 21.5 receiving yards, minus 117.
Yep.
Like that. Slim pickings here again for me in these games. This weather throws me for a loop a little bit. Maybe it shouldn't, but it does. On the Bills side, Josh Allen over 1.5 passing TDs. Bad weather, I get it, but he is one of the quarterbacks that still gets it done. Rain, snow, wind, they will still throw the ball. And kind of reminds me of back in the day, Brady and these freaking snow games, they would throw it. They didn't care. Buffalo will still do that. So
good call out there, Kev.
I think that will benefit the Bills overall too, obviously. James Cook, anytime TD plus 100. He's tied for league in rushing touchdowns. You're giving me the league leader at plus money on the ground in bad weather game. I'll hammer it. And then their best wide receiver, in my opinion, Shakir, over 4.5 receptions. Dude, he's the best. He's the best receiver on the Bills, in my opinion. He does not drop the ball. He is consistent as they come. We talked about the yards after catch.
Yeah, complete cosign. I love all of those plays, to be honest with you. I can envision all those plays completely hitting, and I think your logic for all of them made a lot of sense. Jake?
The only one I worry about is Shakir. I love Shakir. I want to see what Baltimore does against him. I could see that be like they focus him and try to take him away a little bit on some of the key stuff. Now they do get him throws, at the line of scrimmage, behind the line of scrimmage stuff. So I think he's still going to get his catches. I just worry about him getting 5 or more. He's only done that in 2 of the last 4 games, 4 of the last 6. So that's something I worry about. He only had 5 targets and 4 catches in the earlier game this year. And that was without Amari Cooper and Coleman still being new and stuff like that. So it's not that I don't like Shakir or he could go off. I totally think he could. I worry about it a little bit usage-wise.
Yep, all that makes complete sense. Matt and I are going to collab on a 2-leg whale parlay for this weekend. Back when Dew first started, dude, the Stanley Cup playoffs were going, and Matt and I put together a whale 10-unit play. I think it cashed in like the first period. It was funny, dude. I put a TV up right behind my laptop, and I was waiting to see what happened, and I was behind about 27 minutes in the game for whatever reason.
Oh,
and I go, oh man, it hit, and all of a sudden Matt's like, dude, it's like midway through the second period. Like, what are you talking about? So we hit our last super mega whale play. Matt and I are going to put one out this week. Shout out too. We ran a pick'em contest this year. Jake, who won our pick'em contest?
Daniel Heisty won. Heistemeyer from one of the guys from my work NFL chat. He joined and he won. So definitely check out the Pick'em League next year. We'll run it in Yahoo, and we do every week. You pick straight up, no spread, just straight up who you think's going to win. And we did a mid-season and end of year winners. So cash winners.
Yeah, nice little payout, dude. $1.75, free to enter. Right, their contests are always going to be free to enter, and we're going to be doing a March Madness bracket. We're going to be getting involved in all this stuff. Make sure y'all follow us, man. You have to follow us in order to enter these things. Other than that, it's free, dude. And we're just giving away cold hard cash, baby. Here comes Jeff. Guys, my bud's front yard looks terrible. Do you know a good company with a great Google rating and a catchy tune? Man, and if I had to guess, his buddy probably lives in the St. Louis Metro East area. Altered Grounds. Not only are they doing landscaping, but Kev, what else are they doing? Do we have a video?
Great segue there from the chat. Love it. Yeah, Alter Grounds got you covered. It's Midwest, got the snow removal. Actually, here in Charleston, Jesse, we got maybe some snow flurries coming on Tuesday too. But yeah, Alter Grounds got you covered on the snow removal for your business in the Midwest. 618-972-9632. That's 618-972-9632. Get a hold of them. They got you taken care of. Keep your driveways clear, sidewalk clear. Got you.
Love it. Altered Ground, St. Louis Metro East area. The Midwest, dude, they do the best work. If you're in the Midwest area, you're watching right now, use promo code AGNOTB. $300 off your project of $3,000 or more. So this is going to be incredible, guys. This matchup is incredible. One thing that I saw today, let me pull up my freaking Twitter here. So Ed Reed on Up and Adams show, I think he was talking to Kay Adams here, and they were asking him how Hall of Fame safety Ed Reed would handle Josh Allen. He said, "We would come at Josh Allen. Show me he can complete the football after he's getting hit all day, and it's proven that he can't." Well, apparently Ed didn't watch the game last week, right? So according to the 33rd team FB football, you can hit them up on X, the 33rd team FB. Allen had a 75% success rate when blitzed by the Broncos. The Broncos had the best sack rate in the NFL this year. Do you want to guess who was number 2? It was the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens gave up the second most passing yards. The Broncos gave up the 9th most. Simple math and correlation there. I mean, dude, Josh has been unreal against the blitz. And not only that, dude, he could scramble and create plays on the run. Like, dude, Ed Reed could say whatever he wanted. Ed Reed was one of the best safeties of all time, right? But, GFY, dude. GFY.
I think he's kind of reminiscent of him, Ray, and them guys, Peter Boulware, on the defense, and this defense isn't that defense.
No. And did you guys see Josh Allen's hoodie last week that he wore into the game? Had FEA on him. Fuck them all, dude. Right? So Josh Allen, and this is a tweet from Joe Marino, the Joe Marino on X. He's got a great show, dude. No free ads, but Josh Allen is building an all-time great playoff resume among QBs with 5 starts. Listen to this. Number 1 in yards per game. Number 1 in touchdowns per game. Number 1 in touchdown to interception ratio at 23-4. Lowest interception percentage among QBs with 10-plus starts. Most games with 135-plus passer rating. Most rushing yards ever by a QB. The reason that we lose in the playoffs is not because Josh Allen. I'm just hearing all this talk about Josh Allen in the playoffs. Josh Allen's a different guy in the playoffs. He sucks in the playoffs. And it's all this negative, non-Bills fans in the playoffs. But, dude, Josh Allen is a beast in the playoffs, dude. Record numbers in the playoffs. You can't even say that, dude. The numbers don't lie. FEA, dude. Fuck them all.
Yeah, so I'm a little less, obviously, biased point of view. Kind of what I was hitting on earlier about what's he got.
Student comes in.
Say whatever K. Adams wanted me.
To read it out loud. To be fair, I'd also say whatever K. Adams wanted me to as well. I would give Ed Grace. Her real name is Dorothy Konopka. Jeff coming in. I heard Ed Reed P sitting down. I saw it on Facebook since they stopped fact checking. Dude, could be true, Jeff. I don't think
I don't co-sign that.
Ed Reed, though. You want the smoke from Ed Reed, Jeff.
Yeah, absolutely not. But go to your point on the playoffs, like kind of what I was talking about when Jake made that earlier. Lamar Jackson has played in 2 road playoff games, and he has thrown 0 touchdowns in them 2 road playoff games.
Mm-hmm.
To your point,
one of them was in Buffalo.
Yeah, Josh Allen has lost, and the Bills have lost these playoff games just because Josh Allen hasn't had the ball last. It has not. He has played his part. They've got 2 just heart-wrenching losses. It's not the quarterback play. I know them losses tend to go with quarterback. Quarterback is a, win-loss is a quarterback stat in most people's eyes. So,
dude,
that ain't it.
So Jeff's in the comments. Jeff left the field with a lead with 13 seconds left. Jeff and I were actually at a bar, and it was the Bills backer bar in Charleston, and obviously for that Kansas City 13 seconds game, so painful. But dude, we had that place thumping, dude. I was standing on the chair. We had the Bills chant going, about 50 Bills fans strong, rocking the place. And when we scored that touchdown, dude, to who? Gator Dave, dude. Oh my God, we were going nuts. And then
You got a 360 when you do that.
bro. What Gator Dave.
He never knew what way to turn to catch the football either.
No, still doesn't, dude. Still doesn't. And now he's down there in God's country, dude. God hates Jags. Yeah, man. I don't know, man. Everyone just is just counting the Bills out here. And
what about this storyline though,
bro? Like,
so it's all been the storyline. Like the Bills can't stop the run. The Bills can't stop the run. The Bills can't stop the run. Well, that's all the Bills have been talking about, man. The last 3 weeks, like the interviews after the game, Ed Oliver, Rasul Douglas, all of them are talking about it. McDermott's had to answer questions about it. Like, I think they're going to come fired up. Like, I think they're going to be prepared. And I do agree with the people thinking this is going to be a different game. Like, it's going to be a dog fight. It's going to be, it's big hitting. And, yeah, man, I'm excited for it.
Dude, and legend of the game, Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to be coming out to
that place is going to be so electric.
Jake, we predicted that.
Shirtless.
We did predict that. He said he was going to be shirtless. So
we predicted it. He posted that picture on X, and it was just him, just a picture of his chest hair. And I think everyone
was just
like, dude,
he was combing it out. Dude. He was getting it ready, for the
playoffs. Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
Yeah, dude. Man. Hodge called it out earlier. Henry under 96.5 rushing yards.
Yeah.
They've held Henry under 100 yards in 4 out of 6 matchups. I'm just saying, dude. Nose Flowers. I mean, count us out, dude. We're underdogs at home. Count us out, dude. What happened last time the Ravens came to Buffalo, dude? 17-3. Taron Johnson house call, 101 yards. Come on, bro.
You want to? You want to touch on the March Madness thing real quick before we get into ladders and exotics and hit a couple more bets?
I did already. You were sleeping, I think, but we're going to be doing a March Madness bracket challenge. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, X. We'll be getting the details when we get a little closer. We're also, don't forget, Pinto Matt. Matt lost a bet last weekend. Matt is going to be getting covered in ketchup and mustard on a live stream once it hits 50 degrees, wearing a Ravens jersey nonetheless.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. If we lose to the Ravens that week, that ketchup and mustard is going to just be 10 times worse, brother.
I like the idea of it live streaming when we do the draft live show. Like I think that's a really good idea.
We're gonna have a fun live stream to do it. College basketball, Monmouth to the Sweet 16. Heard it here first. I don't even. Oh, please go to the next comment. 50 degrees caveat is so candy ass.
I called it.
Yeah, it is. But he wouldn't agree to it otherwise, guys. And dude, Matt, I know Matt probably shut the stream off at this point.
Matt's probably right ready to jump in the stream right now. He's gonna pop up at the bottom.
I know that Matt probably shut the stream off, but Matt getting covered in ketchup and mustard live on stream. How are you gonna take the Pittsburgh Steelers, who were a 10-point underdog at Baltimore? How are you gonna take them straight up? Dude, and people were chirping me, dude. If someone's gonna give me a free money or a free show,
it was like you were beating up a handicap kid. They were all mad at you for like taking the bet. It's like if someone serves it up to you, right?
You're gonna taking low hanging fruit. Listen, I don't want the Steelers. That was the easiest bet in the world. Sorry, Matt.
Matt giving you the double bird down here.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. He's gonna probably be doing that when he's covered in ketchup and mustard too on that live stream.
Yeah,
I love it, dude. I love it. Let's pull up my plays for this game. Baltimore at Buffalo, dude. So Baltimore money line, dude. Okay, let me explain this real quick. Strictly an emotional hedge. I am completely fine losing to the Baltimore Ravens if I get a little bit of cheddar cheese in my pocket. No, I'm just kidding, dude. It's always F the Ravens. How about Justice Hill over 7.5 rushing yards? Similar to Gainwell. We talked about this earlier. A very similar role. Gainwell has hit this number in 3 out of the last 5. It will not take him much. Hodge coming in with the booth, the Ravens. Yeah, dude, we know. It's all for shits and gigs, brother. Justice Hill over 22.5 receiving yards. He's only hit this in 1 out of the last 5, but Buffalo gave up the most receiving yards to running backs this year. Now, Milano injury, Jake hit on that. It's just something that I really like, dude. Dude, how about a Justice Hill touchdown plus 500?
Yeah,
How
I like that.
about that? We talked about maybe a little Lamar Jackson action. Lamar Jackson did record a touchdown plus 160. Playoffs, dude, do or die. That number is just way too juicy. Jake, I know you like the longest receptions, dude. How about Mark Andrews? Longest reception over 18.5 yards. What do you think about that?
I like it, man. He's been a more of a vertical threat for him down the seams. That's been an area where you can maybe get the Bills defense in the past. I do worry about it a little bit with Bernard and Milano in there playing better, but man, he's crafty, man, and we know Lamar loves to go to him, so I like it.
His last 3 games, a long of 20, 30, and 67. Buffalo Bills against the tight end this year have given Bills are actually pretty good against the tight end, middle of the pack, 817 yards. About middle.
Remember,
of the pack.
a lot of that was without Bernard and Milano
It
together
was.
playing well. But it's Mark Andrews, man. I do really like that. I think that's a good call.
Absolutely. Flip to the other side here, dude. How about a little Dalton Kincaid going? Dalton Kincaid over 3.5 receptions in this game. He's hit this in 4 out of the last 7 games. It's the playoff times. Josh is going to go to his sure-handed receiver here. How about Kincaid over 3.5 receptions? Correlation play here. Kincaid over 31.5 receiving yards. He averages 10.2 yards per catch. He had a long of 35 last game. Baltimore has given up the 9th most receiving yards to the tight end and the 10th most receptions. I want Kincaid to get going here in this game. He's a sure-handed receiver in what could be a cold, snowy game, dude. I love it. And then, dude, Josh Allen to score a touchdown. I got it at plus 110. It's already going the other direction, dude. Playoff Josh. How are we not going to get playoff Josh a touchdown here? What are we talking about?
Yeah, I love it. I think that's a great one. I locked it in at 105. 110 is a great number. Really like it. If you're watching live, please make sure you're liking on YouTube, please, and liking it on Twitter. Really helps the algorithm. It's over 1,200 of you watching live now. Yep.
We're brought to you by Do Champions Media on all socials. Go check us out, Do Champions Media, man. Jake Show Buffalo Blueprint was on right before this. Third and Manageable will be on tomorrow night. No One to Blame is on 2 times a week during the NFL season. We got Coast to Coast on Wednesdays, man. We're all over the place, man. Shout out Do Champions Media, bringing you all the best Buffalo Bills content and gambling content. Boys, what do we think about these plays, man?
Go ahead, Kevin.
You got a lot of Baltimore action over there. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the Andrews. I'm on almost any of these Andrews props. If Lamar gets a little tight, he's going to try to find Andrews. He's done it historically. Andrews seems to be healthy again. I like the Kincaid numbers on the Bills side. Tight ends in cold weather seem to be the go-to guys, so I definitely like that. Yeah, Allen, anytime TD. Yep, every time. Plus 110. Take it.
Jeff likes it too.
Yeah,
Jeff's
Jeff's gonna love that, dude. Listen, the Baltimore money line play is strictly bait, dude. We're a Buffalo Bills network. Come on now. What are we doing here? It's Bills or it's nothing, right? That's what we're talking about, man. Because what are we, man?
Pinto Ron, everybody. Pinto Ron.
Pinto Matt coming in. Shout out Pinto Matt. Yeah, man. If you're watching live right now, we had a show bet last week. We keep talking about it because it was incredible. Matt took the Steelers. I took the Ravens. Matt's going to be getting covered in ketchup and mustard once it hits 50 degrees in Buffalo, New York. Live on air, wearing a Ravens jersey. Yeah, man. So why don't we go ahead and roll that clip? We were just in our group chat talking shit as we do. Matt expressed his love for the Steelers to win outright this weekend in Baltimore, to which I replied, show bet. Immediately had to hop on that. The value was way too good. Matt. Value is way too good. If you listen to No One to Blame, you know that we've been wanting to do a Pinto Ron bet for the longest time. If you're not familiar with Pinto Ron, if you're not in Bills Mafia, Pinto Ron gets covered with ketchup and mustard at every single tailgate before the game. Show bet one more time. Matt has got the Pittsburgh Steelers to win outright. I've got the Baltimore Ravens to win outright. Loser will get Pinto Ron live on air once the weather hits 50 degrees in Buffalo, New York, wearing the other team's jersey. Matt, it's a bet.
It's a bet. It's a bet. We got to remember though, Zay Flowers is out this week, and you got to remember Mike Tomlin's record against Baltimore in the playoffs.
Yep, so. And you got to remember that Pittsburgh blows.
The end, and you got to remember Pittsburgh blows.
Oh, that's so good.
Come on, man. Awesome. How was I not supposed to take that, dude? It's free cheese, man. Free cheese. I'm not the bad guy here. I didn't force him into that. He loved
Hey, Matt. I had the Zubas face paint on earlier in the season. Yeah, you're good, man. You're good.
Yeah, I wore. Hey, listen, I lost a show bet. I wore a Scooby-Doo costume for a whole episode earlier this year.
Jake's skating out on these show bets.
Yeah.
Hey, I won my one. I won my one. So
Jake's smarter than us, man. It was under duress. No, it wasn't, dude. No. Jake. Matt was so confident in this. Matt talked about it on his show, and he made us go and clip it, put it out to the masses, and then I'm watching this, and I'm like, I think I could get him, dude. I think that I could get him.
Too much. He put too much on the Tomlin voodoo. Got me early in season 2, Matt. I feel you, man.
Dude,
that's the funny part, though, too, is both of our show bets, the main ones, have been with Steelers and Ravens, man.
Ravens,
That's true. That's very true. All right, guys, should we move to our ladder and exotic plays of the show?
Ooh,
Kevin,
we got to start climbing.
Anything?
Just start climbing.
Jake, start it up, dude. Mini ladder bets from Jake here. Little steps.
Yeah, it was mainly just because that's all that was available, really. I talked about it a little earlier. I really like Curtis Samuel here against man coverage. They've been highlighting that and trying to exploit some of those matchups. Josh has built up a good rapport with him. And so I really like this play here. And I think he's got a good chance to do the whole thing. I could only get 4+ receptions. There was no line for me to go higher than that on the ladder. If you have it, I would love that too. But I could only go to 4+. Plus 600 for 4+. He went for 7 receptions. Yeah, dude, just crazy. He went for 7 2 weeks ago against New England. Granted, that was, Josh didn't really play that game. Last week, he went 3 for 68. He's finally healthy. And again, he's kind of more matchup dependent. They really like to play him in man coverage games. Against Kansas City, he went 5 for 58 earlier in the year. Indianapolis, he went 4 for 35, another man type team. And then Jacksonville, another man-heavy team, early this year, he had 3 receptions. So I really like the reception spot here. I think he's got a good chance to go over 4. And then obviously with that comes the yards. So the last 2 weeks he went 68 and 52. I talked about earlier in the year against man coverage teams, he went 58, 35, and 44. So really like it here. And I will play it the full ladder, man. Both receptions and yards, and I'll probably parlay them too because I am sick and I love to set money on fire. So, but I would play 2 with 25, 3 with 40, 4 with 50. I think
like we always say, dude, when you're talking about ladders, mini ladders, step stools, whatever you're talking about, you need to love the bottom rung. You got to love 2. You have to love 12.5 here if you're going to play the rest. That bet on 2 should be enough to cover 3 and 4, right? So if you hit 2, it's going to cover 3 and 4, and you're going to get some profit, right? That is how you play these ladder bets. That's what it's all about, dude. The ladder bets are one of the hottest things going in the NFL this season. They're going to be just taking off. We're going to be building scaffolding next year. I'm pretty sure it's going to be out of control, dude.
Yeah, I'll touch on that a little bit more because I think that's a great point for people who've never played ladders before. Like you said, it's all about that first rung. So if you're doing receiving yards with Curtis Samuel at 12.5, whatever your units are, it doesn't matter. It can be, Monopoly money, but you're whatever you win on that first bet. So let's say it's $10, right? And you're going to win 11, 15 or whatever, so it's going to be 21 total. That's what you spread across the rest of your rungs. So you're only playing essentially with free money once you hit the first rung. Don't bet more than what you're going to win on your lowest rung bet on this ladder. So for me, it's like my first rung will probably be a half unit. And then from there, I'll go like a quarter unit to lower than that, to a tenth on the highest rungs. So just make sure you're doing that, and really all you need to do is hit the lowest rung, and then the rest is free money, and hopefully you hit a couple rungs.
That's it. And our ladders have been on fire this season. Obviously, there's only 4 games to choose from this week. Your options are limited. We had to dig deep into our bag for this one. Let me bring up my mini ladders right here. So I went with Travis Kelce receiving yards. Now, like we talked about earlier, Travis Kelce over 5.5 receptions. I love that bet this week. I love a Travis Kelce touchdown. Houston's been getting cooked by tight ends the last 4 weeks. Disley dropped 2 massive catches last week that would have put him over his number. It's the playoffs, dude. We saw Kelce do it last year. Now, I know Kansas City's got more weapons now, right? They got Worthy cooking, Hollywood Brown's back there. They got Hopkins, step stools coming in. But I love Kelce this week, man. I love Kelce. 56, man, you're getting to 121, 66 plus 121, 76 plus 174, 86 plus 250, and 96 plus 363. He's going to have to go high to get this. Now, the last full game he played was on Christmas against Pittsburgh. He went 8 for 84 in that game, 11 targets. The one thing I really like, dude, is the target share. 11 targets, 7 targets, 8 targets, 6 targets, 13 targets. We know the relationship between Kelce and Mahomes, dude. Josh Allen rushing touchdown, only ladder bet. How many rungs? They'll only offer you 3. They won't offer you any more than 3, I don't think, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, that's funny. But I like Kelce this week, man. I like Kelce to have a big game, statement game. They've had a lot of time to prepare against Houston. And I got ugly with this next one, dude. We've been getting ugly all year with these ladder bets, dude. We hit a Jalen Waddle ladder earlier this year when everyone thought that he wasn't even on the team anymore, and he went over a century mark. Xavier Hutchinson, I was telling Kev a little bit about this, and Kev goes, who is Xavier Hutchinson? So, yeah, unknown guy here, but with Bobby Trees a little bit banged up, and you have to think they're going to try and limit Nico Collins, and they're not going to win this game by rushing it with a banged up Joe Mixon. They're going to have to get at their pass catchers. We talked about how we liked Mechie over receptions. Well, I like Hutchinson receiving yards. He went for 34 last game. Now that is 1 catch for 34, right? He only went for 5. He went for 21 a game before that. So 2 out of the last 3, he's hit this number. It only takes a couple, man. We don't know what Robert Woods is going to do. Is he going to play? Is he going to not? Hutchinson could be in a great spot here against maybe what could be a little bit of a vulnerable Kansas City secondary, especially if they're trying to take away Nico Collins. Thoughts on these guys?
I want to circle back to the Josh Allen rushing touchdown ladder.
Yes, please do.
All right. So he was asking how many rungs can you go? And I got a couple questions based off that for you guys. So you can actually go to 4+, but not with Josh Allen. Only Derrick Henry on FanDuel can you go to 4+. What do you think Derrick Henry's odds are to go 4 touchdowns?
4? Holy shit.
Well, he's probably what 2-1 to get 2. What 10 to what is it like 20-1, 25-1 to get 4?
Plus 6,000. I was shocked.
Yeah.
Like that is so low. Like what?
That's insane. The numbers on these running backs. You saw it with CMC. You're seeing it with Henry. You see it with Barkley. These
When
guys
is
that are just touchdown vultures, man. I mean, their
when
numbers
is the
are so
last
small.
time a running back had 4 touchdowns? Does anybody
Right.
have a
Good trivia question?
Jonathan
there.
Taylor? Was that Jonathan Taylor not that long ago?
Was it Jonathan Taylor?
Anyone in the chat wants to look it up. Yeah, right on the post. But Josh Allen to have 3 touchdowns is 4,700. To have 2, he
It
is
wasn't that
plus
long ago, guys.
750.
We were close. So Jonathan Taylor did do it against Buffalo. I think we're going with rushing touchdowns, Matt. But it just total touchdowns. Yeah. Total touchdowns. He's right. Gibbs did have 4, I believe. But rushing touchdowns, Mixon did it in with Cincinnati in 2022.
I remember that. He had like a 50-point fantasy week that week.
Yeah, he went for 153 on the ground, 58 receiving yards, and 4 rushing touchdowns. There's actually been quite a few, dude. Alvin Kamara did it on Christmas. He had 6 rushing touchdowns, won me a fantasy championship that year. I know there's
Chris
plenty
Johnson?
of people watching.
Chris Johnson on that list?
No.
Nope,
dude. Kenyon Drake.
Wow. Kenyon Drake
dude.
sighting. Jeez.
Jonas Gray.
Wow.
Aaron Jones, Derrick Henry, Marshawn, Doug Martin, dude. I love it. Dude, okay, here's a crazy one. D'Angelo Williams did it twice in the same season.
No, I would have never guessed that ever.
No. Nope.
Would that have been him and Jonathan Stewart when they were both in Carolina? Is that when that? Wow.
I believe it was Stewart there. It was 2008. So, yeah, dude. That's insane. But yeah. So we're gonna keep it moving here. Jake, what else you got cooking? Ladders, exotics, what you got?
So we talked about this one a little bit, Devonta Smith. The only thing I worry about with this is the weather, the snow. I really like the matchup for him. I like him going over 100 yards in this game. But again, I'm really worried about the weather and the snow, and that would make me be scared to bet the full ladder. But like I talked about with you, and it was one of your best bets, I think, was just over his yards.
Yes.
I do like over his yards in this. So to cover the first rung, and then after that, so be it. But again, I just don't know how the snow is going to affect him if they're supposed to get the 3 to 5 inches of snow. I'm not sure what that'll do to him, but he's gone over 50 in 4 straight games. He's gone over 100 in 2 of the last 4 games. I really, like I said, I really like this matchup.
Dude, don't worry.
Right, that's nothing, right? We talked about that. That's nothing. So yeah, I really like this ladder. I just caution people with the weather just to be light, sprinkle lightly on this one.
Sir Sprinkles over there. Here I got kind of a sketchy ladder here, dude. This ladder is made out of wood. The ladder is 100 years old. I don't trust it, but I got to climb it, right? This is what we do. Jaden Daniels passing yards.
Woo! It's getting spicy.
Don't love that too much, but if game script goes the way everyone thinks it's going to go, he's going to have to pass it against Detroit to win this game. So I liked his number of 234.5. He hit that 7 times this year. But we're going to start at 225 minus 117, get it up to 234.5, and just ride it all the way up. Just, dude, Jaden Daniels 300-yard passing game plus 1128. Is that so out of the realm of possibilities? I mean, am I crazy for thinking that Daniels can have some success passing against Detroit in this rush?
I don't think so. I think the key here is how he's done against the blitz. So he's actually been the third best quarterback against the blitz according to QBR. And so I think Aaron Glenn is going to get after him and try to, at least that's been his repertoire, right? Is to send guys get after him. And then I like Washington's weapons one-on-one, in man coverage. Scary Terry, we talked about getting off the Zacchaeus and getting on to the Diami Brown, but Ertz, Eckler, I do like their weapons, and he's been really good against the blitz, man, and that's going to be the story of the game. How does he do against the blitz? And I think plays are going to be there. Detroit has not been good against mobile quarterbacks. That's the other thing. You saw it against Josh Allen. Some of the other guys, they have struggled with that with their linebackers, and staying disciplined when plays are extended. So I like it, man. I do think he's got a good chance here to go a little crazy.
A list of quarterbacks who have thrown for 300. Take their division quarterbacks out of it. Dude, Caleb Williams threw for 590 on Detroit this year. Okay.
Yep.
That's crazy. Darnold 425. They played twice. I get all that. They played twice. Love threw for 479 on him. Okay. Now, quarterbacks who played Detroit that threw 300 yards. Brock Purdy, 377. That was pretty recent. Stafford started the year against them with 317. Geno Smith threw for 395, and Josh Allen threw for 362 on him this year.
Here's some more Jaden Daniels numbers for you this year, okay? Passer rating by situation, right? So passer rating by situation versus man coverage, he's got a 120.2 passer rating. Versus the blitz, 128.6. Under pressure, 107.5. Non-play action, 105.4. Downfield, which is 10-plus air yards, 124.4. All of those are the highest by any rookie in the next-gen stats era since 2016. So he's been really good in these situations, man coverage, pressure, blitz. So, yeah, I think it's a really good call, man. I didn't think I would like it, but I'm definitely warm into it for sure.
The more you look into it,
game script too, right?
Like it, dude. Yes,
yeah. At some point during the season, Jaden Daniels was like the number 1 or number 2 versus the blitz in the entire NFL. As a rookie, that's crazy. That's typically where rookies get eaten up by defensive coordinators that kind of figure out how to blitz them, how to get them off their spot. But he was good, really good.
Yep. Jake, what else you cooking up for us? I know you got one that's really
there we
ugly.
go.
It's not this one though.
Not this one. This one's a little more sane. So back to Saquon again. I like him in this matchup, man. I think they're really going to get him the ball, and so I wanted to get creative with the ladder because the action wasn't so great.
Dude,
just straight.
The first rung of your rushing.
The first rung is 110, which is just diabolical, man. It is diabolical. But he's gone over 110 in 3 straight games. He's gone over 110 in 4 out of 5 games. He's gone over 110 in 6 out of 9 games. It's not that crazy of a number. He's gone over 110 in 8 of 12 games, dude. So it's not, you have to get over that fact of the sticker shock or the number, right? And just understand that he does this all the time. 125, he's gone over that in 2 of the last 3 games. 150, he's gone over that in 2 of the last 3 games. That's just straight rushing yards. So I didn't want to play the ladder higher and just straight rushing yards because, then you're getting into 175, and I think he's only done that, one time this year? Twice. He's done it twice this year. Once of them was against the Rams where he went for 255, right? So I switched and went the ladder going rushing and receiving. So I'm going to do both, because if you do rushing and receiving 125 plus, that's all you got to get to be minus 130. And like we talked about earlier, I do think he's going to get some receptions in this game. Based on how they played last time with the Rams bringing pressure. Last time he played the Rams, he was 4 for 47. The game before that, when they played Washington, another blitz team, he was 2 for 52. Jacksonville, a man coverage blitz team, 3 for 40. So I do think he has a chance to run for 140, 150. I think catching the ball for 25 or 30 yards and getting you over 175 and getting you close to 200. Like we talked about, he had 300 all-purpose yards against this team last time. We're also talking about 3 to 5 inches of snow and some bad weather. And so I think that even leads more into the script of, dude, you just ride him into the ground, man. He's going to get 25 plus carries. He's going to average 4.5 to 5 yards a carry at least. And so I think he's going to get 125 plus.
Yes, I can't stop
just
shaking
on the
my head,
ground.
dude. I feel like a bobblehead doll right now. I'm just looking at you like.
How
this.
many times in a snow game has this happened where you get the snow, they're pounding the ball, nothing, and the running back breaks through untouched and goes for 45-yard play? Just a huge gash. Like,
well, he did that against the Rams
game.
without the snow, right? Like in the dome, how many of those big runs did he have against? I think he broke like 350-yard plus runs against them last time they played. They're a light front.
Different angles because of the snow, the footing, and running backs just break them, and he's the guy to do it.
Dude, if he just gets 2/3 of his production that he had last time,
yeah, right.
You cash like all of these.
Right.
And 2/3 of his production plus 850 for 2/3 of his production last time. This is cooking.
Right.
The one big snow game that we saw this year, it had the Bills playing, dude, and James Cook went 14 for $107.
Yep.
Versus the Niners, and the field was tough, but the Bills as a team, they ran for 220.
Hey, as my friend on Seinfeld always used to say, it was Mr. Kramer, right? It's a mutter, man. Saquon Barkley's a mutter. I think he loves it. I think he's gonna do well in a snow game.
Call him Mr. Kramer?
Yeah.
What just happened there?
He's earned that respect. He's earned that respect.
Oh my God, I love it. Yeah,
but
dude,
man, I think the slop is good. I think the extra carries, man. I'm all over it, man. I love it.
I absolutely love that, dude. Yep. We're missing the Shandy Capper right now. Where is the Shandy Capper? Where's Otis? Where's the Shandy Capper? Where are you guys? I miss you guys. Miss you guys in the chat right now. I got Jake. You got one more letter. Let me go through. I got a Go ahead. No. Let's round out our letters. Yeah.
All right. I'll paint the picture for this one. 24 days off, coming off of the injury, fully healthy now, just arrested. Lathered up, beast, just ready to be unleashed, man.
Whoa.
He's ready to go. Maybe I painted the wrong visual there.
You're painting one of those romance novels, dude. What is going on right now?
Oh man, it's great.
Okay.
I just think he's going to be rested. I think he's going to be ready to go. I think they're going to feed him the ball. There's no questions about his health anymore. He played the 5 games before this break, this 24-day break, and I think he's going to be ready to go. And he's going to get carries, man. I think he's going to get 14 plus carries in this game. We talked about the weather. He's a downhill runner, man, runs hard. And I think that takes some time coming back from, as a running back. You got to get a feel for it, see your lanes, get a timing down right with the offensive line. I think they're going to have all that down, man. And I think they're really going to run the ball in this game. You saw earlier this year, he had 50, 45, 90. I think you're going to see that again here. Yeah. From Matt, 50 Shades of Pacheco. I'm on it, man. That's second rung if he gets over 50 Shades. I like it. I think that line's just way too low, man. 42 yards is criminally low. Before his injury, he did that in 4 straight games. The 4 games before the injury.
After he came back from his injury too.
Right. So I really like it, man. I'm all over this.
Okay,
it's just how high on the ladder you want to go, basically.
are you worried about Kareem Hunt?
I'm not. I think that was more of getting him worked back, and I think they want to run the ball anyway, man. I think Kareem Hunt can get his couple carries, and I'm all right with it. I even like all three backs in this game. I like a Samaje P. Ryan as well for a couple receptions and going over his line.
You're gonna say Carson Steele.
No, I'm out on Carson Steele. But I really like Pacheco here, man, and it's just how far up the ladder you want to go. I'll probably go all the way to the top, really light, maybe a tenth of a unit or less. But yeah, I really like him through 60, 70 yards, pretty heavy in this game.
I think if we're talking about Kansas City running backs right now, P. Ryan, one thing this many viewers and we're saying words like lather and referencing romance novels. Welcome to Do.
That's what the views came for. That's what the views came for.
Do Champions After Dark, where Jake is lathering up Isaiah Pacheco.
Oh, man.
Yeah, people listening to this, not watching, are going to be having a terrible time. So how about Samaje P. Ryan receiving, dude?
Loved it, dude.
His last 5 games. Could someone grab his number real quick?
Yeah,
I'm going to shout out. So he's had his longs the last 5 games: 13, 14, 36, 23, and 16. I think P. Ryan receiving yards has to be in play here.
I did a parlay with his receptions and receiving yards.
Yeah, of course you did.
His receiving yards is 9.5.
Oh my gosh. Smash.
Yeah, 9.5, and then his receptions is 1.5, and it's plus 108, man. And so the odds are just too good.
Yeah, I'm going to grab that right now.
So if you put his receiving yards of 9.5 and then his receptions of 1.5 together in a parlay, it's plus 121. I really like that one, man. Like you said, he's gone over that.
Did you ever notice how the books will they won't give you as good odds on parlays with the same players?
With the same player, yep. They don't like when you stack their receptions and yards.
What are you so scared of, man?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm betting this right now. Let's see what they got P. Ryan at.
But yeah, he's gone over 9.5. Oh, he's gone over 9.5 in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
12.
That was on FanDuel. 12's not terrible. I mean, he's gone over 12 in 6 straight. So
yeah. Well, we're smashing it. I just smashed it right there, dude. You got to hit that. I love it, Jake. Love the ladders. We're climbing up. There's only 4 games to choose from, but if you watch the show front to back, we previewed all 4 games. All 3 of us gave all of our best bets. We're giving out bets left, right, and center, dude. Bets on bets on bets. I got one more little card here, a couple parlays and a teaser. If you're unfamiliar with the show, no one to blame. Throughout the season, what we would do is we would pick 3 best bets. We'd put together 1 parlay, and we'd have 1 teaser. Now, our teaser, we called it the Neffy Special. That is me. I am Neffy. I loved the 3-leg 10-point teaser. And on our show, no one to blame this year, we cleaned up on that bet. So I'm going through my book today. I'm not even going to name them. I hate this book. I live in South Carolina. I do what I can. Yep. They took the Neffy Special off.
Took it off the board.
They won't let me bet it anymore.
I thought I was losing. I thought it was me. I thought it was my phone. I was like, I couldn't find it. Went up to 7, right?
I was on the phone with them. I was berating several people that couldn't really speak English. You know, it was a tough time for them. I was super.
This is why the official sports book of Do Champions is FanDuel. If you're in a state with FanDuel, make sure you use FanDuel. That is our official book. We love them, but they're not in every state yet. You know, so if
they will be. They will be.
That doesn't
have the South is just a little behind, is all. But I cooked up a couple things here. So how about I couldn't do a 10-point tease? So how about a 7-point teaser plus 130? What is not to love? Look at this masterpiece here. Kansas City -2.5, Detroit -3, Philly +1. Take that all the way to the bank, dude. I absolutely love that play.
I do love that one.
Dude. We talked about it, man. I know it's chalky. I know it's chalky. We talked about how this weekend is chalky. The 3 teams that are going on the road outside of Baltimore, they have terrible matchups against really good teams. It's not good spots. There's a reason that the lines in the divisional playoffs are 6, 8.5, and 9, depending on where you're looking. There's a reason for that. They may not be high enough. I don't think they're high enough. How about Mechie with 3 receptions, Woods 2 receptions? That's plus 110. Now I cooked up 2 carry parlays here. Lamar Jackson, these are alt numbers, by the way. Lamar Jackson, 8 carries. Josh Allen, 7 carries. Jaden Daniels, 9 carries, plus 177. And then we're going running backs. Jahmyr Gibbs, 14 carries. Barkley, 20 carries. Henry, 18 carries, plus 168. All of those guys have hit those numbers, especially in the playoffs. Really good chances to hit those. If you want to parlay all 6 of those plays together, plus 625. We have given out so many bets on this episode of No One to Blame, piggybacking off of the Buffalo Blueprint. Make sure you tune in to Do Champions tomorrow, Third and Manageable with Student and Matt. Hockey Hotline. If you're into hockey and you're a Buffalo Sabres fan, we do Hockey Hotline at 10 a.m. You could hop in and bitch about the Sabres as we do every Saturday at 10 a.m. Wednesdays, Coast to Coast with Whittle and Beyond 716. They're talking Bills. Dude, it's the divisional round. Boys, we got any other bets that you want to give out? I know we've given out about 1,000 of them.
I've got a modified Neffy special I threw together with the 7-point tees. I've got Texans plus 16.5, Commanders plus 17, Rams plus 13, and I've got Bills plus 7 parlayed to get you to plus 200.
Okay. Hey, the beautiful part about that bet, Kev, we could both win, dude, and that's what I'm talking about.
I did one as well. I did with money line. So I did Chiefs money line, and then
bring us back to the full screen.
Chiefs money line, and then total points over 31, and then I did Lions money line, total points over 46. That was plus 117.
One more time, Jake.
Chiefs money line, and then total points over 31.
For the
and then
for the Chiefs?
and then no total.
You're right.
Yeah, game total.
Okay.
And then Lions win and over 46. It was plus 117.
Wow, that is uncharacteristic of you. You don't really tread into those waters very often.
I don't.
Dude,
I don't.
It's the divisional round, dude. We're getting desperate,
Right.
man. Like I said, if you didn't watch the show from beginning to end, rewind, check out all of our plays. We previewed all 4 games. We each had a betting card. Some had more bets than others.
Here's one you didn't talk about. Did you talk about pass completions for Jaden Daniels? Was that one of your best bets?
Yep.
Okay, I did one with that as well. I did 22.5 and over 199.5 passing yards.
Oh, I love that. And I'll give you some stats real quick. Pass completions. Jaden Daniels has went over 22.5 completions in 6 out of the 7 last games that he's played. The only one that he didn't was against Dallas, where he was pulled because they didn't have anything to play for. He has been a completion monster, and if he's going to be getting that many completions, he's probably going to go over $1.99. Correlation parlay. I absolutely love it, guys.
The show what we didn't talk about is the post game show. So after every Bills game, tune in to Do Champions social media and YouTube, and we'll have a post game show with live reaction to the Bills Ravens game for this week. So check that out Sunday night after the game. There will be a live show with our pretty mugs. Someone from the network will be on there hosting it, and definitely check it out. And then if you're watching, make sure please like, subscribe, share it out. All that stuff really helps with the algorithm. We really appreciate all of you tuning in. 3,500 over 3,500 live viewers.
Let's go. Appreciate every one of you guys watching.
Chat.
At Do Champions everywhere, guys. We want to give out our DFS plays. I mean, we're
oh
long here.
man, how could we forget FanDuel
go.
DFS? Let's go.
Yeah,
Kev, you want
and
to
we've
put
got
that on
some.
loop for us?
We've got some after dark chat in here too. I got some going deep in the vault. Dave Duco, MVPs, Earthquake and Typhoon. We got some inside jokes here from back home in my GC, my old hood. Probably for not for the PG crowd. We might have to say that for a special show.
Yo, it's midnight, dude.
Yeah. There ain't no PG.
Midnight ain't late enough. It might have to be the 3 a.m. crowd for some of these chats. We're not talking wrestling with Earthquake and Typhoon either, but here we go.
All right. DFS plays. You had 4 games to choose from. We're going to run through this quickly. We talked about a lot of these already, guys. Let's rip it. We're going to do each position at a time, too.
Okay. I went running back heavy in this one, high. So I went kind of crazy about the position. Starting off quarterback, CJ Stroud, 7,200.
These are our handles on X at Kevin3E2, who was just talking. I am at do_Neffy. I went with Mahomes 7,700, dude. I think he could put some points up on the Texans this week, and I think he could do a little bit on the ground as well. Give me Patty Mahomes 7,700.
I am at Jake FB Data, and I went with Jared Goff. I wanted to go Daniels. We talked about him a lot. I think running and throwing, I think the game script's going to be there. I went on the flip side, though, just to value. I think Jared Goff's going to get a couple passing touchdowns, put up some numbers versus that man coverage. I really like him there. And then I went and paid up, like Kevin talked about, running back heavy. I went with Saquon Barkley. We talked about him a lot, man. I think he's going to have a big game.
Hey, hit both your running backs, Jake.
Sure, and then I went Jahmyr Gibbs. We talked about him on the ground in the air. I think, again, I'm not sure Monty's going to be back to his regular workload, and Gibbs has been tearing it up with the extra work. And that Washington D-line is not great, man. They have not been able to stop the run.
Yep. For those exact reasons and the amount of points I think Detroit's going to score, I played Detroit team total over 31.5. I like Gibbs at 8,900. You pay up for him here. I had to go cheap if you look at the rest of my lineup. So, dude, I took a little dart throw on Eckler, man. How about Eckler getting in the end zone this week? That's all we need for this to really get the value you need out of a $5,500 running back. Kev, hit your running back and then hit your wide receivers.
Okay. I went heavy on the running backs. I went top of the market. I went Barkley 9,300, Derrick Henry 9,600. Trying a new strategy out here, going heavy on these running backs for the playoffs, light in the wideouts. Zacchaeus 5,400, Shakir 6,100, the Bills' number 1 receiver, and John Mechie III 5,600.
Yeah. Had to go cheap there at wide receivers as you paid almost $20,000 or $19,000 for your 2 running backs. I get it, man. I went with Amon-Ra St. Brown, dude. I think he's going to have a monster game. I know Washington's secondary is good, but when you got Jameson Williams taking the top off, and you got Laporta playing as well as he's been playing, Amon-Ra's going to get his. Amon-Ra's going to get in the end zone. Mark my words here. We talked about the Mechie receptions. Another kind of dart throw here, but Mechie's going to have to get involved if Houston's going to win this game, in my opinion. And Devonta Smith, man, I think he could have a decent game against this Rams secondary.
I had to do the same thing as Kevin with going lighter on the receivers. So I went Jameson Williams, 6,700. Rashad Bateman, 6,200. He's been sneaky, man. He's scored in 4 or 5 games. I think with Zay out, he's going to get some looks. He creates a lot of separation. And then Diami Brown, man, we talked about him too. I'm off the Zacchaeus, and I'm on the Diami. So another example of that here.
Go ahead and go with your tight end too.
And then my tight end, I went with Mark Andrews, man. He's scored in 7 of 8 games. He is a knack, man, for getting those deeper catches like you talked about, and I think he's going to have another good game.
Yep. I went Kelsey, man. I think Kelsey has a monster game. I talked about all his bets earlier. 6,500. I think he was the most expensive tight end on the board. I love it, dude. Kev, round out all 3.
Yeah. Yep, I got you. Tight end, Laporta 6,000. And my flex, in my opinion, I got 3 stud running backs in bad weather games. I like my chances. I got James Cook, 7,400. I got a lot of touchdowns coming in my running back position. And then rounding out with the Commanders at 3,400.
Ran out of money. I love it. Yeah, dude. I love that strategy, dude. You could see plenty of touchdowns out of all those backs, and that's what you need. I went Xavier Worthy, man, 6,300. There's only 4 games, man. So putting together these are really tough, especially if you're paying up at higher like Amon-Ra and Gibbs, like I did. Worthy at 6,300 seems like pretty good value to me. Him and Kelsey, I think, should have pretty good games. And then how about the Rams, 3,500 on defense, dude? I had extra $100 to spend, so I went Rams over Commanders. That's all it was, dude. Genius pick, right?
Smart. Yeah, I went Travis Kelsey like you. I think he's gonna have a good game, man. I kind of wonder if it's one of those like reception heavy games over yard heavy games. But I like him here, and I like his anytime touchdown too. And then yeah, commies, man. I just went the cheapest. They haven't had a negative game either, which is really weird this year. If you look, there are a lot of like single digit games, and so that's all you really want from a cheap defense.
Yeah,
Squib
Jeff
sauce.
gets it here. Got squibby sauce. Will be all over Lamar's face. Yeah.
So, oh my gosh, who?
I'm confused. This is
from-
getting
said,
weird.
Hey,
Jake
late
landed
night.
him up.
It's getting late. Yep.
We're getting weird, dude. We're going long in the stream. Hey, real quick, man, if we got any people that are watching the show that played hockey, how about the custom Vaughn hoodie, man? When I played hockey, Vaughn makes the best goalie equipment. Got the custom Vaughn hoodie here, repping it. Free ad for Vaughn, dude. I absolutely love them. Haven't skated in a couple of years, but dude, I'm gonna break that equipment out. If we're gonna get some wintry mix here in Charleston, South Carolina, I might have to break the hockey equipment out, dude. I might go full goalie gear next podcast.
You're not a young
man.
buck anymore.
I
You're
can't
not a
wait.
young
You
buck
need to
anymore.
film that, man.
Yeah.
Can we live stream that, and then
We'll live
we'll do
stream that.
over under on how many minutes until an injury happens.
I threw my back out during Christmas break just by
just
waking up.
walking.
So
Just by waking up.
I just woke up, and then that was how I lived my life for 18 days. It was awesome.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, man. Awesome show. Make sure y'all follow Do Champions everywhere, man. Like, subscribe. We're at Do Champions, Facebook,
Yep.
Instagram, TikTok for not much longer. YouTube channel on X. We appreciate everyone tuning in. Appreciate the
Spotify,
chat.
Apple.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Make sure you check out the,
Yes.
the
Amazon
podcasts on
Music.
there.
Amazon
Yep.
Music.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. No one to blame, man. If you're wanting all of our bets, rewind it, rewatch it from the beginning, dude. Like, follow, subscribe.
Oh man, Matt talking shit from the rafters, man.
It's too bad. Can you imagine Matt trying to ice skate? Like, that's something that I could. I'm gonna fall asleep tonight picturing Matt trying to ice skate. That's hysterical. We're gonna dive in, and Hockey Hotline's on tomorrow at 10 a.m. Matt, you might want to rest up for that and stretch and get ready for that. Don't worry about me ice skating. Are you scoring on me? What? Are you kidding me, dude? You scoring on me when it's the
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
fuck out of here, Matt?
Just trying to win a game. Just trying to win a
I
game.
love it, dude. I love it. Kev, it's good to be seen. Jake, good to be seen. Everyone watching, good to be seen.
Yeah, man. Appreciate everybody
Appreciate
watching.
y'all.
No one to blame.
Go Bill.
For the best Italian food in Western New York, Elliot Apollos, call 716-825-3675. The Lardon Construction Group.
Fubo TV, the official streaming service of Do Champions. FanDuel, the official sportsbook of Do Champions.
For all your summertime needs, beauty pools, as well as kayak pools.
CX Chronicles, your total customer solutions focused manager. W.GG, the official energy drink of Do Champions.
Hey, Sons of Erie, our artwork looks better on your walls. Hamburg Brewing, please visit our tap room on Boston State Road, Hamburg, New York. And finally,
Fat Boy Surf Club for all your surfing needs.
No One to Blame is sponsored by Altered Grounds Landscaping, the area's top professional landscape company. They're family-owned and operated business serving St. Louis and the Metro East for 20-plus years. Their mission is to make your home or business stand out from the rest. They offer free consultations year-round. Get $300 off your project of $3,000 or more with code AGNOTB. That's code AGNOTB. They're booking pools for the upcoming summer season. So if you are having any thoughts about getting a pool for this upcoming summer, stay ahead of the game and contact them now for any of your pool project needs.
There's no one to blame, there really is no one to blame. But I swear to God, it's my fucking fault. It's a better sports podcast. It's my fucking fault, but there's no one to blame. Neffy Kevin do. Neffy Kevin do.
Do it. Don't listen to what I say or whatever kind of peer pressure I'm telling you.
Do it. I'll fucking do it again.
I know there's really nobody to blame for this but myself. Well, I don't know, maybe the Buffalo Bills, the Boston Red Sox, or Mr. T, or the Jets.
Wait a minute, Mr. T, are you telling me that you bet on the fight in Rocky 3 and that you bet against Rocky?
Hindsight is 20/20, my friend.